Okay, guys, I'm back. I had to come out of that stream because there was an echo. And so I hope all of you guys are with us still. Waiting for Poppy to come in. He just got in from getting Violet from her babysitting gig. And all right, guys, come on back. Okay. I try to come in on my computer. You know what? I'm gonna upgrade this. Ouch. Okay. Upgrade now. I'm upgrading my StreamYard so I don't have a logo. $240 freaking dollars. Hang on a minute.
$240. Your mama.
Due today. No, wait a minute. Due today, $25. You think it's worth 25 bucks a month for StreamYard, dear?
If you're gonna use crap out of it.
Okay, come on in, guys. Let me get you a link. I'm trying my best. Can you not knock the thing over, please?
I hate extension cords.
Hang on, guys. Oh, shoot. This is a pain in my fanny. We'll upgrade later. How you like them apples? I'm coming, you guys. I've got the, what you call it? The links are coming. Now, I'm going to turn, there's going to be an echo for a second. Maybe not. Are you too cheap to upgrade, Marcel? That's funny. I was thinking about it just because they only allow 20 hours a month. Ooh. And I thought that if I upgraded, you know, I can stream for longer. The fish tank, Cypress, I've got a Blue Flame Gourami back here. I've got some black neon tetras and some a Harlequin. What are those things called? Rasboras?
Yes.
Yeah, Harlequin Rasboras. There's only 3 of the Rasboras. Oh, and I have a white Cory cat, if you can see him right there. He's usually on the bottom trying to get new stuff, you know. Is she in? Let's see. Hang on, Marcella. I'm coming, my dear. There's Grumpus. Add to stream.
I just want to watch it again. I don't want to.
You don't want to be in here?
I don't need to. I'm sitting right beside you, chucklehead.
Well, make sure your volume's down because I don't want. Marcel, where'd you go? Okay. But yeah, those are the fish that I have. Can you hear me, Grumpus?
How's that? You can hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Any echoes?
Oh, I've got this stupid thing on. Okay. Go ahead, say something to me, Grumpus.
1, 2, 3, testing. Is there an
Why
echo?
can't I hear anything?
Maybe the volume.
Give me 1 second. Because I'm going to cancel that and turn that all the way up. Okay.
How's that?
That's much better, thank you.
You got me? Okay.
I do, and now I don't hear any delay either. It might have been a StreamYard problem.
It could have been. Very easily.
Should check out loaches. I actually had a golden loach, and I had him for about 1.5 years, and then he died, Cypress, and I was really, really sad about it. I really liked him a lot. actually got a 55-gallon tank in the living room, and it had 5 angelfish in it. Well, I thought that my blue flame gourami back here was attacking the fish. Come to find out, it was my cats getting my fish. He killed all 5 of my angels, who were like this big.
Oh man.
And so now I'm debating on whether or not to get angels, or I really want discus fish. I really want discus. Poppy's back. It didn't take him 2 hours this time.
Hey. Did you get my message?
I did. You said you got the package and you're on your way.
Yes.
Okay.
Laura, I'm old. What does WB mean?
WB, welcome back.
Ah, okay.
I think that's what it means.
She threw me off because that was my initials.
Oh,
How does she know?
Rumpus, are you a Bill too?
Yes. That's why I was.
Front door.
That's why I was telling you earlier. All 4 of her husbands were named Bill.
You're killing me.
Funny. I've got like 3 Uncle Bills. There's Williams and Bills, but Jameses, but they're all really Bill.
My ex.
Go ahead, Grumpus.
My ex. I was her 4th husband. All 4 of them were named Bill. So
Okay.
when we decided to part company and she was moving to Florida, she asked me, she said, "What are you going to do when I'm gone?" I said, "Well, the first thing I'm going to do is call Florida and call all the Bills and let them know you're coming."
Let him know.
Maybe that's why my Uncle Bill ran to Jamaica.
That is hilarious. Well, and I was telling him that one of the reasons I almost didn't go out with you is because my ex's name is Wesley as well.
Yeah, but I'm way better.
Oh, 1,012%.
There you go.
Like I said, when I okay, I got you, my girl. Hang on, Marcel is in the house.
Woo! Hello.
Oh, much better.
It's a whole lot better.
Oh, much better. There's not 2 of me talking.
Right. Well, you know what, guys? I really believe that it was a StreamYard issue and not a Charlotte screwed this whole thing up issue.
Not this time.
No, because it was not like that when y'all started. I was there
Right.
when you first popped on. It was not like that. That happened somewhere in the course of it.
Patrick, are you ready to come? Or are you still in transit from work to home? I think he's here. Wait a minute. Maybe there he is. Much better. Good.
Yes,
I'm so
Laura, my
glad.
daughter is obsessed with those little creatures too.
Cypress Blue says she wants axolotl next. I would love to have an axolotl, but I really am afraid I would just kill it because they are. And I would hate to buy something and then just kill it, you know?
What?
Yes,
Yes.
like every vegetable plant I ever buy
Oh, God. Come on,
is
Marcel.
doomed.
What?
Doomed.
What's going on with
Between
your
me
plant?
and
Ready.
but between me, getting distracted and not watering them for a couple of days, and then the squirrels, they're doomed.
You need that cat outside.
Got that. Well, he's there, but I actually watched a woman. She posted a video about putting cotton balls soaked in ammonia in a plastic bottle, like a Coke bottle, like you plop them in the bottom,
Sure.
drill some holes on the side for some ventilation, and then she said that the smell of the ammonia will keep the squirrels away from your plants. Yeah, and she did that, and she said it seemed to work for her.
Well,
Be worth a try.
it is.
Yeah.
Anything is worth a try.
That's a good cheap try too.
Yes, it is.
My green onions I was so proud of, I forgot to bring them in, left them out here on a chair, and then noon, 1 o'clock, I came out to water, was kind of bringing everything back outside. I realized I left it out. Little squirrels dug it up. So they murdered my green onions.
Okay, Patrick's in purgatory. Oh, come
He's
on.
in what?
Purgatory.
Oh,
There he is. Add to stream.
There he is.
Oh,
hello.
hey, Patrick. It's good
Hello.
to see you.
It's not so bad in purgatory, actually. I enjoyed it.
You did?
Yeah, it's sort of just calm and nothing happens,
Hey, if that's
You've got
purgatory,
you've got a hoodie on. Are you experiencing fall weather?
Yes.
I'm
Oh, well,
so jealous.
in Australia.
it's a little bit cool here. It was 0 this morning, I think.
Dang.
Wow.
Get out of Dodge.
Cheers.
0 hurts.
Cheers. Well, okay.
Yeah, but that's not Fahrenheit,
Cheers.
though.
I'm
That's
double
centigrade.
fisting it.
What are you drinking there? You got the red wine and what else? Whiskey or
I've
something?
got the Merlot and some coffee. So where the alcohol depresses me, the caffeine peps me up.
You're
You're a
hardcore.
thrill-
You're hardcore, Charlotte.
You
I know,
are
I'm
hard,
hardcore.
you are a thrill seeker, I tell you.
Is that like Red Bull
Double-fisted
and
drinker.
vodka?
Marcel, did you see Charlotte eat peanut butter and Vegemite?
Well, I was on the line and I could hear it, but I couldn't see it. I was actually I had her running, and I was.
I think Marcel needs to see it. Yeah.
No, Patrick,
Yeah.
I'm not touching anything in that stupid MRE ever again. I would rather eat the Vegemite by the spoonful.
We'll do that then.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that too. See, there's
$10.
my little miniature Vegemite jar.
$10 a spoonful.
And
Think about it.
taking here cost me about $12
She's
and a half.
probably not a woman you should dare. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was like.
Hi! Jules is here, you guys.
I think
Hey,
he
Jules.
offered you $10.
You
to,
offered me $10 for what?
a spoonful.
Per spoonful.
Oh God, come on! I've been drinking wine.
That's Australian dollars, so that's about 50 cents, by the way. But it's still a lot of money to me. So
Jules, let me get you a link, honey.
Hi,
Oh, that-
Jules.
Oh my goodness. The gang's all here. Hot diggity.
Wow. Well, so I went 2 weeks, right?
Mhm.
So I'm taking a little night off from my dry July. I started a week early in June, so
Right.
and I feel much better. But now I've got a head thing going on because of the allergens here.
Oh,
It's horrible.
Flonase.
Yeah, got that. I've been doing, the saline and then all the stuff. I'll feel
You have
better.
a neti
It's
pot?
just, I do not, but I've heard good things about those.
Well, look, they say, but I'm always afraid that I'll drown myself if I try to use it.
You're not supposed to snort it.
Well, I'm thinking, how in the world is it good to breathe hot water?
No, you guys
Well,
were doing it wrong. The way my dad taught me. My dad had horrible sinus. He was allergic to almost everything. And what he taught me to do when my sinus would drive me crazy, get a small cup, plastic preferably if you can get one, put in not like real bad saline, but put in some saline solution or just salty hot water. Get into the hottest shower you can stand, and you kind of tilt your head upside down, put that cup to your nose, and you kind of suck on it until you can feel it behind your eyeballs and hold it there as long as you can. And when you blow it out, stuff comes out you didn't know was in your head.
Yeah, that's just disgusting.
It's nasty, but it works.
That's intense.
you can do that with Vegemite. Take $20 to do that.
Here you go, honey.
No.
That's a whole $1.
However, Patrick, I will concede that there's probably enough salt in the Vegemite to accomplish that goal.
Does it say
There was
so?
there was an eating challenge a few of my mates down here did on their channels, and I didn't do it, but they all did an entire jar. It was horrible to watch.
Oh, I bet it was.
Horrible.
Well, I'll tell you, I got some of it on my fingers while I was buttering the cracker with the Vegemite, and I did
Yes.
lick my finger.
Oh, I
If that
saw that.
counts.
Yes.
Yeah, I did lick my finger.
You're-
And it
as
tasted
Marcel
better.
said, you're hardcore. You are hardcore.
I am.
Hardcore.
It actually tasted better than that stinking nasty cracker.
There
Oh.
are
Terrible.
I saw the crackers. I was like, oh, those are crackers.
It tasted
I
like
like-
raw biscuit dough, Marcel. It was disgusting.
I have a few of those. I have a few of those MREs actually in my garage that
Mhm.
came home with, Evan
Yeah.
came home with the hubs, and they are they are definitely in case of emergency only.
I can assure you that if there's ever a hurricane situation or a disaster situation, I will starve. And that's just all there is to it. I will starve. I'm not dealing with eating that nasty. I cannot believe the raisins tasted like arsenic. I don't know what arsenic tastes like.
I've never personally tasted arsenic. I don't believe.
Me
I don't
either.
even taste it until you tell about it.
Look at
But-
the cat.
The metallic chemical taste to some of those things.
You're being photobombed right now.
Yeah,
You're
you
being
are.
photobombed. Major.
Look
What if
behind you.
Cypress said she takes
Allergy meds.
allergy meds every night from April to October?
Look behind you,
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Charlotte, look behind you.
Look behind you,
Yes,
Charlotte.
Patrick,
Look
What?
behind you. Look behind,
behind
you.
me. Oh, for the love of God, Jules, are you trying to eat the fish again?
She's drinking the water, Mama.
It was never loving mine. Are you thirsty?
Not
Are you
anymore.
thirsty, buddy?
Not anymore.
And look, do you see my awesome bruise? Look at that.
Oh my God! What happened?
That's called blood thinner. I don't know what happened. I woke up this morning, I had that bruise, and I have a knot right here in my arm. It's a little bit blue. It was bluer this morning. So I keep thinking maybe I just have random blood vessels popping everywhere. I don't know. I need to go back to see my cardiologist and talk to him about it. 'Cause,
Yeah, definitely do that.
You better stay off. You better lay off the Vegemite. Don't eat any more Vegemite.
And my random bruises come from two places: work and her.
I don't know what you're talking about. I do not beat you in your sleep. How dare you accuse me of that?
Years ago, when Violet was tiny, a certain person in her sleep busted me in the nose so bad it blacked both my eyes.
I did
Nice.
not do that, and you know it. I was asleep.
Being a young husband, I probably did or said something stupid, and she's like, "Good, got him."
Oh, God.
That's hard to imagine.
Y'all don't believe that, do you?
No.
No, honestly, I remember that
No.
I woke up screaming, and it woke me up. You know, the whole ah,
Yeah, because blood was shooting out my face.
and I'm like, what the hell happened to you?
That's it. My niece, when she was a baby, accidentally gave my mom a black eye. Like my mom was holding her and she headbutted her just right, like wobbling like babies do, and got her. And my mom ended up getting a really bad, like a black eye around her eye. My dad wouldn't let her leave the house. He was like, "You're not leaving the house. People are gonna think I backhanded you or something."
All the
You know?
neighbors are going to think I did that to you. You stay home right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still in the Navy when that happened, so I get to work. I got two black eyes, and my chief and my lieutenant are looking at me. What did you do? my wives are like, that's it. We're good.
That's between you and her.
Yeah.
You said
And my
something.
mom was like,
you deserve it.
Should have stayed at the
I just
bar where it
remember-
was safe.
my mom was like, I'll just tell him the baby hit me and gave me a black eye. And my dad's like, oh, sure. Why don't you just tell him you tripped and hit a door?
Right?
Like every woman says when it's been smacked around, oh, I hit a door.
Oh, God.
But yeah, he was like, you're just staying home for a while until that clears up.
You know what? I think if I would have been the husband, I would have said the same thing. You're not leaving the house. Stay home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be right back down ACO. Okay.
Oh no.
Don't shut down the AC.
No, don't shut down the AC.
It's too hot for that mess.
I guarantee you that.
I will be so glad the October roll around. I have had enough of the rain and the heat. This year has been exceptionally awful.
I can't remember a year like this one.
I can't either, Grumpus.
Oh, I can. I remember a year with the rain when my son was a baby. He was born in February. And so summer rolled around and it was a super rainy summer. Super rainy.
Yeah, Jules in the house.
Hey, Jules.
It basically rained June through July. And then finally August rolled around and the sun came out. And I was driving, commuting downtown. I had to drop him off at daycare, had him in a rear-facing car seat, all this stuff. Well, the sun was out, and he was not used to the sun at all. And he screamed the entire way where I was going, coming or going, because he was a vampire baby, and he didn't know what to do with the sun. And he was like, "Ah!" I mean, it was so stressful. I'd have to pull over and try to calm him down. And then I was trying to drape things over his car seat and everything. But yeah, I remember that summer. It was a super rainy, gray summer until the second week of August. And that would have been 2007?
7.
Look it up. I promise. It was a gray summer.
Murphy
had
was
a-
2008 in Virginia, so I don't know anything about that.
And it was cold
Oh
and
my God.
miserable.
Let me tell you something. That little boy was born on the coldest night in Virginia that year. Oh my God. And it was December 6th. And it was, if he'd have been my first child, he'd have been my last.
Oh, and you almost had a relapse.
It took me hours and hours to have that baby because he was upside down and backwards and sunny side up.
No.
Oh my God, it was the most miserable labor and delivery I ever experienced in my life.
But he loves you better than the rest of
He
them.
does, he does. And I probably like him the best too. But that night I will never forget. See, I don't like to be confined or feel like I'm trapped.
No way.
And so being in the hospital with all the tubes and the everything attached to me caused extreme panic. Extreme panic. So the entire 14 hours I was in labor, I was also in the middle of extreme panic. And I remember my daughter told the doctor, if you would just let her unhook from these machines, let me take her downstairs and have a cigarette,
Oh no.
she'll be
Yeah,
fine.
person.
My daughter convinced that doctor to let me, he said, he had a talk with me and he said, Ms. Acosta, I'm going to let you go for 20 minutes, but if you're not back in 20 minutes, we're going to have to start this whole thing all over again. And I looked at him and I said, I will do whatever you tell me to do. Just let me out of this damn room. Well, one of my daughters went and got the car, brought it up to the elevator. The other daughter had the pole and was walking behind me, and we're running down. I get in the car. I'm crying, like I'm just crying for whatever reason. I don't even know, except for the fact that the whole time I'm in labor, his father had just had open heart surgery the day before. and he had a valve replaced in his heart. So the whole time I'm in labor, all I can hear is his phone going off, and it's a rooster notification. And I'm like, turn the god blankety blank every curse word I've ever known in my life. Turn it off.
Did he get another couple of black eyes then?
Look, he almost didn't make it through the night.
Well, and also besides having his chest cracked open, they had to medically put him in a coma for days because apparently when he was doing his traveling, he had picked up something 30, 40 years ago in another country that decided to pop out and say, hi, how you doing, during the surgery. So
the point of the matter is he was very concerned about his father.
Extremely stressed out.
In the middle of me giving birth to his son.
And she was a pro at it. That was number 7 for her, so it was like.
I wasn't feeling like a
You got
pro.
this baby. I'll see you in a few. We'll pack it up.
But when it was all over with, it was like 11:30 at night. And the first thing I did when they took that IV, I took my own IV out.
She's like that.
Oh my God.
I took my own IV out. I put on my jammies, and I have this thing that I call a penguin suit that one of my very good friends sent me from Nebraska, where it gets really cold. And it's a one-piece bathrobe that has feet in it that you can zip up. And I love the thing. I love it. So I put that on over my jammies and my coat on and a big furry hat. And I went downstairs, went outside, and smoked my damn self a cigarette.
And they told me I have a relapse.
It was snowing and raining at the same time.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there. I didn't even care. I'm like, I don't care if I freeze to death right now. I done had this baby. I'm feeling fine. I just want to go home now. And so the next day, I told the doctor, I said, yeah, I can go home now. He's like, no, we need to keep you for a couple days. And I said, oh, no, that's not going to work for me. I said, I got 6 kids at the house that I need to take care of. I need to go home now. Well, come to find out, number 2 daughter, who is number 2 child in general,
Which is MIA.
she was MIA, totally gone. She wasn't answering her phone. I couldn't find her. I called all of her friends. Where's Rachel? Nobody could find her. And I said to the doctor, I'm leaving now. I don't care what you do with the baby. You can put him in the nursery. You can do whatever you want with him, but I got to go find my daughter.
He's like, oh yeah, he's got jaundice. We'll
So
keep
then
him.
they made up this story that he had jaundice so he could go in the NICU, and I got to go home and find my daughter. Well, as I was leaving the hallway to the floor that I was on, here little Miss Priss come around the corner. Mind you,
She knew
I
she
had
was
just
important.
had a baby less than 12 hours before. I grabbed her by her neck and jacked her up against the wall, and I said, where have you been?
I'll bet.
And she did the whole drunk cry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm like, you know what? You are lucky to be breathing right now. I said, go your ass home, and I will talk to you when I get there. And she did. And she was waiting for me when I got there. But apparently, she had gotten pooted the night before at 18 years old, 19, which is illegal here in the States, Patrick.
She got
She
what?
she got what?
Got liquored up.
She was baked
Oh,
Okay.
and fell asleep at some young man's house. Okay, we're not going to go into that. But had turned her phone off so she wouldn't be disturbed. And there you go.
Oh, we could swap
Yeah,
stories.
No,
Girl,
no.
I wanted to hang her at that point in time. I wanted to paint her black and blue because she knew, well, all of my girls know that all my kids, they know that I worry about them when they're not at home, especially when they live in your home. You know, if they want to go out and do what they want to do and they live in their own house,
That's different.
it's not shoved up my nose all day long. But if they live in my house, I know what time they're supposed to be there. And by goodness, they better be there.
Yep.
Yeah, Dwayne, thank you. There is
Or
no
have a
echo
damn good
anymore,
reason
is
why
there?
they're not, right?
I'm sorry, Julie.
What's the-
Or have a damn good reason why they're not.
Yeah, they better, because
Exactly.
I couldn't believe my response though, because I really don't usually lay my hands on my children. I do other things, like make them clean
Well,
baseboards.
blame it on postpartum.
I had to, because I'm telling you what, I didn't even know I had the strength to
Temporary
do that.
insanity.
I mean, here I had just birthed 5.5 pound baby, and yeah, I jacked her. I think I picked her up about 2 inches off the floor and had her pinned against the wall. You should see her face. Her eyes were like this. She's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
adrenaline too, like because you were
I
upset.
was scared, Marcel. I was so scared because I had been looking for her for hours, and I was just so afraid. And you know, when you're the parent of a child who can drive,
That you
your
never
mind
stop
automatically goes to, she's dead in a ditch somewhere,
Or the car's upside down, or
and she can't get out, and she needs my help, and blah blah blah. I mean, that's where your head goes.
Yeah, I can see that because I'm already like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
it's crazy.
My daughter came home from a party. She was 17.
Uh-huh.
Went to a friend's graduation party that was a year older than her. I didn't want to let her go. Didn't want to let her go. Did not want to let her. I had a bad feeling.
Yeah.
She came home beaten to a pulp. Knocked on my bedroom door. I did not even recognize her.
Oh my God.
Her whole face was swollen. Her eyes was all swollen shut. The bruises, the bumps all over. I had to go take her the next morning and get her x-rayed. Then I had
She
to
got
tell her
in a
dad
fight?
why I let her go to a party.
She got in a fight?
Yes, apparently. There's two high schools in that town, and she went to the rival high school that her boyfriend had gone to, and he was already graduated. And there was some girls there that liked him. This girl did, and it was his cousin's friend, and they went to the rival high school. So she went there, I think, with just one friend, maybe two, and they were at a rival high school's party. And this girl was talking a bunch of crap about her. And it got back to my daughter. So my daughter confronted this girl. And this girl was like shaking in her shoes. And, you know, was like basically backing up and saying, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You know, my daughter knew she did. And then all of a sudden, this big gorilla woman jumps in front of her and proceeds to throw her to the ground and beat her up badly. She outweighed my daughter about 100 pounds. I think my daughter was probably all of 105, 110 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah, but I guess she didn't go down without a fight from what her friends say. Her friends said, man, you got some good ones in there, though.
That's
I was
scary.
like that when I was a teenager. I didn't weigh more than 100 pounds soaking wet. And thankfully, I never got myself in that kind of situation. Gosh, I can't even imagine I can't imagine.
So she came home one time and had been date raped, drug.
Oh.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is the child that she's at a gas station one night, 11 o'clock at night. Some crazy dude tried to snatch her and pull her into his car, then proceeded to follow her to the next town over as she's going to her boyfriend's house. I'm like, child, you were going to give me a heart attack. Went camping one time and left her home alone.
Let me tell you what just happened.
Came home and there, police were there, party had been there, broken glass on the floor. You couldn't walk through. It was like walking behind the bar. Stick. Apparently, they attempted to mop the floor twice.
We just had an incident in the family last weekend. We all decided to go up to the little convenience store that has the best slushies on the planet. And as we were walking in, we had been to my other daughter's house, and Violet, my 16-year-old, had on a fairly short skirt. And
That's gone to the garbage.
when it has since gone to the garbage, but when we were getting in the car to go to my daughter's, I said to her, I'm going to let you continue to wear this skirt today, but when we get home, it's going in the garbage because you've outgrown this skirt and it's way too short.
Yep.
Well, she was okay with that, but we ended up going to get slushies at the convenience store. And as we were walking in the door, I noticed this elderly gentleman, and I use that term loosely,
Yeah.
looking at my daughter like he was taking her clothes off.
How old is your daughter?
She's 15. She'll be 16 next month.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said to her, she was walking between me and her father. I said, Violet, come here. And she turned around and she came towards me, and I said, you need to walk right directly beside me until we got into the store. But the whole time, my ding-a-ling daughter is going, what's going on? And I'm like,
Oh my
shut
God.
up and walk.
My son is 14, and I can see that whole thing, like everything. Yeah.
Well, we get into
The
the store,
attitude, yeah.
and apparently his business partners were in there getting themselves a drink, dressed like they were dressed for business, if you know what I mean. And so he and I were basically trying to surround her and keep her away from
Creeper.
the seediness of it all.
Yeah.
Well, we get back to the car finally, and he and I walked on the right side of her that time so that she would be shielded. And I told her, I said, just get in the car and shut up. The whole time we're going out, what was going on back there, Mom? What was going on? Blah, 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 blah. What did I do? And I'm like, shut up and get in the car. So she finally gets in the car, and I said to her, first of all, do you see that gentleman over there? And I pointed. She goes, yeah. I said, well, he was looking at you like he wanted to eat you for breakfast. I said, second of all, the next time something like that happens and you're not aware of it, we've got a problem. I said, you have got to stop getting out of the car and just being oblivious as to what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
said, you are a young woman who is beautiful, smart, and you have all of the things, and everybody else notices it too. And you're the only one that doesn't know it.
Right.
I said, and you have got to protect yourself. I cannot let you go anywhere until I know that you're going to be aware
Right.
and protect yourself.
And when you dress like that, it's like advertising to the seedy bunch.
Look, my dad used to tell me all the
Easy
time,
pickings.
if you're not going to do business, don't advertise,
That's right.
you know. And I get that she did have a skirt on that was a little shorter than it should have been. And also, that old man should have known better. That's
There's some sickos
disgusting.
out there.
Yeah.
But-
She was with, she walked in there with, her parents, her family. It was crazy. Obviously, she's a child,
Right.
Well, imagine if she'd gone in there on her own.
Well, that's what scared me, Patrick. That was the whole
Yeah.
point of the conversation I had with her. I said, you are almost 16. You are just about to be driving on your own. I cannot let you do that if you're not going to be in a position where you can know what's going on.
My daughter wasn't as gullible, but she made poor choices.
Rumpus, are you about ready to go to bed?
No, she's trying to convince me it's time for us to.
That's adorable. I'm watching her. I'm just cracking up.
A kitty cat.
It's what she does every night.
So cute.
Kitty cat does. She's a sweet girl. But yeah, I that really scared me that she was completely unaware of
Yeah. And I
that
used to do
person
that with
who
my
looked-
daughter. I also had
Yeah.
to do that with my youngest sister.
Mm,
And they were totally oblivious. Well, not so much my daughter, because my daughter, she's like me. She's always grew up just suspicious of everybody. She never
Right.
trusts them. She always
Right.
sized people up. She wanted to be an FBI profiler. Anyway,
Oh.
so but my younger sister was just about as ditzy as could be when it came to that kind of stuff.
right.
She, I would walk with her and I would see all the
All the perverts
seedy,
looking at her.
undress you with my eyes kind of looks that she
Right.
would get. And I'd say, I can't believe you don't know or don't realize these
Right.
people are. My daughter was like that when she was really like maybe 14,
Uh-huh.
but I started making her aware. So when we
Yeah.
would be out, I would say,
Do you see that person over
do you
there?
see that? Look over there. She goes, what, Mom? She goes, will you stop? I go, no. You need to know.
Right.
You need to be aware that this is what they're taking in. They're watching.
Yeah.
And you're like, just DT, no, that's not okay. Because these are the kind of creepers that will try to snatch you.
Exactly.
Sure shit, it almost happened to her. Of course, she was 18 when that happened, but
Uh-huh.
still, she goes, Mom, it scared me because I thought, I'm small. How can I fight somebody?
How-
I never related to that until after I had lost like 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I was alone, 2:00 in the morning, bars shut down, walking through the middle of a party town, college party town.
Oh.
And I was always aware of what was going on around me. And my senses were just like really heightened. And I thought, I feel vulnerable. And I never felt this way before. And because before, when I was heavier, I thought, yeah, good luck dragging my ass off. I better bring a couple friends, because I got some cushion for the, I got junk in the trunk and the lady lump, so and all that fun stuff. So, but when I lost that 100 pounds, I thought, you got a little easier to pick up and take somewhere,
Exactly.
And that was a feeling of vulnerability to me. And I thought,
Certainly.
now I can kind of see where, these young girls, they should be really afraid. They really should be.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of big attitude you got. They're physically, they're bigger and they're stronger. And
That's exactly right.
it's a scary thing. Yeah.
My son takes taekwondo. Go ahead,
you
I'm
got to
sorry.
take. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, what I was going to say is I'm half tempted to start my daughter in some of that too, because
The self-defense classes are worth their weight in gold for sure.
I tried that with my daughter and she hated it. My
Oh, did
husband,
she?
her dad, insisted that she take taekwondo for self-defense. She lasted for one session, one thing of it, and then she was done.
Right.
She's like, this isn't for me.
Cypress says you have to watch your drink at a house party because of sex.
That's
drugs.
exactly
Can't
what
remember
happened
the
to her,
name.
Laura.
Yeah.
I got
Hi,
drugged.
Laura, by the way.
I got drugged at a bar 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Happened to her twice. Yep.
That was I don't take drinks from anybody but the bartender anymore if I go out, which is rare. But
Yeah.
if I do go out, I get my drink myself or somebody I
Don't leave it
trust.
at the table.
Don't leave it at the table. But yeah, I went out by myself and I met up with some friends and then some friends went home, but I was talking to some people and I was just around the corner from my mom's house in my hometown. And I remember a guy was like, let me get the last round. They called last call. And he was like, I got you. And he brought me a beer.
Uh-huh.
And then I got to my mom's house and I walked in and, I basically collapsed in the doorway.
Oh
And I knocked over her table and all this stuff. And she was like, she heard the noise and she came out of her bedroom. And I remember her trying to wake me up. And she was like, what happened? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, what did you do? And I said, I don't know. What did I do? And so anyhow, it was really dramatic and horrible. And I just felt like the shittiest person. I was like, oh my God, did I get that wasted? But then I was like, no, I didn't. I was fine. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, I bet that guy, because he kept asking me for my number and I wouldn't give it.
Right.
And I just
So
got
he
in my
was
car.
gonna
And he walked me to my car, and I managed to get in my car and go home. But
Oh God,
I
how scary is that?
It
Well, I
leaves
could
you
have-
after
I could have-
11
I could have
hours.
passed-
It's not detectable. It's not
Yeah,
detectable
if I
in the
had to
bloodstream
go-
after 11
if-
hours.
It was right around the block. I wasn't that far at all from my mom's house, but if I'd had to go any distance further, I could have passed out at the wheel.
And that's what happened to her. She woke up
know?
on the lawn at outside a bar in Las Vegas.
And so I was
She
talking
already
with
in
my
the Air
brother.
Force.
Yeah. I was talking with my brother the next day, and he was like, that guy slipped you something. There's no way you went from that to that.
Like
know.
that quick.
Yeah.
And then
You
you
can
get the
still
worst
lick for
headache
sneaking up
after.
on you. Not a Mickey.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm still convinced I got slipped something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably did. And
It's
that's what she
definitely happened.
said. But
It's definitely happened to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time.
I wouldn't do
only,
it to you,
only
I'm
once,
telling you.
only once, but it definitely did at a party.
Let's hear the story.
That's scary, actually.
Well, it's not much to it. Someone must have slipped me something, put something in my drink, because I woke up the next day and I was being told that I went berserk and went around and started smashing windows.
Mm,
Police came, all this sort of stuff. Nothing, no memory of anything. And I hadn't.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't drunk. And I've been drunk. I'm always drunk, but I never get like that.
yeah,
Not
that's
like
what-
that.
It was definitely someone had slipped me something. For sure.
Something hallucinogenic. I mean, the easiest thing to do that with, there's little strips of acid,
Right.
like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The saddest thing with
And
my
it's-
daughter is
it's
she was
awful.
married at the time, and her husband didn't believe her. He thought she was just drunk. And by the time he found her, got her home, they got her to the hospital the next day. It had already been past the 11 hours. They couldn't detect anything in her bloodstream, so he didn't believe her.
It's a scary
She
thing.
knows somebody did, yeah.
It's a really scary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
You don't
Very
remember?
scary.
You wake up
I am
with the worst
so
headache.
glad that I am. Well, number one, I never really kind of entered the bar scene, if that makes sense.
It's never too
I would
late,
go-
Charlotte. It's never too late.
Oh, that's true. But if I go now, I got him watching out for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
I
scary.
have a bodyguard too.
and I never really went to bars by myself. I always was with a group of friends. I went. And it never was intentional. It's just it worked out that way, and so it's. Thankfully, I just have never experienced anything like that, and I'm really glad.
I'm fortunate enough that I got resting bitch face naturally. And when I want to bring it on and make it more apparent, I'm very good
Right.
at it. Most people, I actually end up intimidating a lot of people. So it's okay with me. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of that RBF, I used to wonder why, when I was in school, I would never get asked on a date. And then when I graduated high school and I got married and had my daughter, and then he left when she was 4 months old. So I was a single mom for a while, and I used to wonder why is it when I go out, nobody comes up to me and says, hey, you want to dance, or do you want to do this or that? And I finally figured out that I'm just not a very approachable person.
Tell them how I approached you and what you said.
I've already told that story.
You grumpy. You're looking at her.
Yeah,
We know that one at a 7-Eleven, wasn't it?
I was working at a truck stop. Yeah. And he came up to meet me and I said, doing my job, I went up to the counter and I said, can I help you? And he said, well, I'm
I'll be
here to
right
talk
back.
to Charlotte. And I looked at him like he had two heads, and I said, "You're looking at her. What can I do for you?" And
You are a no nonsense.
A romantic.
Get it
This
done,
could
girl.
make a movie. Can you imagine the movie? What do
No
you
bones
want?
about it.
but he said to me, he said, "Well, I just wanted to know if you wanted to go have a cup of coffee. I'm Wesley." And I looked at him like I just couldn't believe the audacity. I had just gotten off the phone with him an hour before, and I'm like, "You idiot, I told you I was coming to work. You know, what are you doing
He's-
here?"
He's a man that knows what he wants.
Apparently.
Hey, Wesley?
Strong woman takes strong measures.
There you go.
Well,
Wesley?
and honestly, I probably don't think of this very often, but nobody else on this planet would be able to tolerate me other than him.
Her kids even sometimes are like, "How did you do it?"
Because I'm a very difficult lady. Very difficult lady.
It's all that Vegemite and peanut butter. I tell
It
you.
has to be. It has to be. Okay, we lost Jules and we lost Marcel. And I don't know if it was voluntary or accidental.
I thought they all went to the bathroom together.
Oh, maybe. Because you know
I bet
how
she
us
is.
girls are. We
Oh,
go to the
she's all-
bar, we end up in the bathroom
Yep.
together. In fact, oh my God, y'all, last night we went out to the Mexican restaurant for dinner. And it was okay, it was fair. All right. I need to go to Texas to get real
Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex.
Right?
But it was fair. And there were some people,
Oh, the freak show.
the freak show in the booth. Okay, so I was sitting here like I am now, and it was in the booth kind of catty cornered that way. And there were two young ladies,
Use that term loosely.
and I'm using that term loosely again. And they were sitting with an older woman who looked like a parental type figure.
Sure. you
These
call it.
girls had their hair really, really short, which is adorable. I wish I could get away with it. But they had it stuck up into horns like this. They had makeup on, and they had drawn, I think they had drawn mustaches on their faces. And they were dressed kind of gothy, sort of, dark clothes, the whole 9 yards. And so me and my daughter were sitting next to each other, not the younger daughter, but the older daughter. And we were like, "Oh my God, can you believe this? What the hell is going on over here?" So the younger daughter who's sitting across from us, these people were behind her. And I'm like, "You got to turn around and look at these chicks. You're not going to believe this." And she's like, "I can't just turn around and stare at them, Mom." And I said, "Well, come on, let's go to the restroom."
So all three of them get up and go.
So all three of us get up and go to the bathroom, and we're chatting in the bathroom. And before we left the bathroom, my older daughter turns around and she goes, "Look, Violet, the whole purpose of us going to this bathroom is so that when we walk back, you can take a look at that booth." And she was like, "Oh my goodness." Because, you know, in the high schools today, girls that want to be boys and boys that want to be girls and all these alternative lifestyles are very, very chic.
Mm.
So she is really not as fazed by seeing stuff like that as me and her sisters are. And of course, Wesley here, because he likes to make fun. He wants to know.
I'm with you, Wesley.
My son has a friend who has decided that she doesn't know what pronouns she wants to use. She can't figure out if she's a boy or a girl. And when he told us, my son called me and said, "Look, so-and-so wants to be called they from now on." And my first thought was, well, how many of them are there?
And I'm like, should we call her Sybil?
And no, Wesley said, "What happened to her? Did her JJ fall off?" And
What were you two doing?
what were y'all doing? Yeah.
I broke it.
So that's a thing. I never in my entire life up until now thought that something like that would be a thing in my immediate family.
And then I'm like, boy, if she's now a boy, what are you?
Right.
Well, I'm still a guy. I'm like, so are you gay? He's like, no, it doesn't work that way.
I'm like, well, please explain. How does it work? And so he goes into this long, detailed explanation. And finally, I'm like, I can't even listen to this anymore because it's nonsense. It didn't compute for me. It just, none of it makes sense.
Lola.
None of it makes sense.
Where the drink tastes like cherry soda.
I'm out.
Like Dwayne said, it reminded him of a song. The Who.
The Who that comes
Lola.
to my Lola, la 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 Lola.
You looks like a lady. Oh,
What song?
I went on a blind date once where it was really it was a man, but it
Oh,
took me a while to figure it out.
I didn't know, Patrick.
Oh, Patrick, I'm so sorry.
Well, I haven't told you, Grumpus.
That
thought
must
you
have
looked
been like
familiar.
a trauma. Have you been to therapy?
No, well, this was back in the old days when there wasn't the internet and you had those ads in the back of the newspapers, you know,
Sure. Yeah.
the personals. And we met at this cafe, and she was about 6'4". Well, not really. She's about my height. But I'm
Amazon
sitting there-
woman, man.
Well, she was actually a really nice person.
Yes.
Like, I was sitting there having the coffee, and I noticed the Adam's apple. And then I'm looking at the hands,
Oh,
and
And
suddenly the light bulb went on. And I'm like, oh, righto.
I know.
that happened to me. Yep.
It happened to you.
Worked at
It's
the
probably the
airport.
same. Probably,
I'm very
probably the
curious.
same person.
Yeah.
Probably the same person.
Some of them are very good at doing makeup
I'm
Yeah.
curious how the
and
day
looking to the
ended,
nines,
Patrick.
man. I'm not even kidding.
Y'all rearranged us.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't figure out the situation the hard way, if you know what I mean, Charlotte.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a blessing in disguise.
But I figured it out and just said goodbye, and that was
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah.
And she was really nice person. But I thought, oh, you're taking a bit of a risk here, love, because if you, I mean, there was no honesty. You know, she was being
I'll be back.
deceptive. And
I'll be
I
back,
thought,
guys.
well, you.
Oh, no. That's not what I wanted to do.
What have you done?
I don't know. I'm frozen.
On her phone, it's
No, you're
frozen.
not.
I can see what's going
You're
on.
not frozen.
No, you're not frozen.
I don't look
On
frozen.
our end.
No, you're not
No,
frozen.
you
No, just leave it
don't look
alone.
frozen.
Okay. We'll leave it alone because, yeah, my life.
And all of my extensive naval travels, we went to Pattaya Beach, Thailand. And they told us, as soon as you walk off the pier, always go to the right because all the stuff on the left-hand side of the pier ain't what it appears to be.
Lady boys.
Yeah. You have
Oh
the
my.
cabaret show and the boy a-go-go over there.
Okay.
So we all went to the right, not
All
the
of you?
What good is it?
I'm curious because you and I both know
Come
if
to
you're
the
underway, it's not gay.
cabaret.
right.
Go,
And
Jules.
It's a cabaret, my friend.
what you singing, Jules?
Come to the cabaret.
There you go.
Come drink some wine. Never mind. I don't know.
I love it. Yay!
Why
That's
isn't the melody? You said cabaret, and my mind just went there. Sorry.
Well, look, it's life is out there. You know, there's all sorts of interesting things that can happen.
Indeed,
Yes,
there
indeed.
are.
Yeah,
Lots of
Adam's
interesting
apple is
people.
usually a good giveaway. So is it when they bend over in a mini skirt
Yeah, there are.
and the family jewels are still attached. You know.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, something about that blue
that's usually a dead giveaway.
You know,
Sure is.
my daughter
Questions removed. All doubt removed. It's just okay.
Mm.
had
You
a
look great.
that she worked with for years in Virginia. And we moved down here and they communicated by, texting and stuff. But he ended up moving to New Orleans and he lived there for
Wow.
a year and a half. And he was a drag queen, I guess you would call him.
Well, I
And
think that's what this one was because
unfortunately, and Richie was a great
Beautiful.
guy. He was fun. He was funny. In fact, just a couple of years ago, he went trick-or-treating with us, dressed in drag and everything, and it was so much fun. Because here in Mississippi, you can trick-or-treat till you're 35 if you want to. And which is great because
That's good. I'm moving.
candy tax and everything. But
Well, and also some of the places that are our friends, they hand out shots or beers instead of candy to the adults.
exactly, yeah.
Oh, hey.
But just last Christmas, he was found deceased in his apartment, and he'd had a heroin overdose.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap. That's horrible.
And it just really, really broke my heart.
That's so sad.
And he was only, I think, about to be
Hang on, guys.
40.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
So young. That's so
What's
sad.
up, Marcel?
Yeah.
Said she'd be back.
But yeah, it was a really sad thing. And what was so sad about it is that my daughter kept trying to find him because he didn't really have any family. His mother had passed away a few months before, so he didn't have anybody to claim him.
Yeah.
And so my daughter and his friend decided to try to find out where he was in this deceased state. And it took them like 2 days to find him. So they ended up claiming him and having him cremated and taken care of. But it was the saddest darn situation. I
It's so
think.
sad. Yeah, that's terrible. Heartbreaking.
Dwayne said he saw a I
Yeah,
don't
read
like
it.
I don't like that my phone is frozen. And I don't know what to do to fix
It's
it.
just a glitch.
Well, I know
Turn it
but
off and back on.
So what are
no, I
you
can't.
using the phone for?
I'm
The
using
camera.
the phone for the camera.
Oh, yeah, then that too.
Oh,
You could just
So
try
yeah,
to do the refresh button.
there we have it. But let's see, I'm gonna go back and
It did that once before and it came back, so I'm just
Yeah,
waiting for
well.
it to kick back again.
In a class, it said single 18-year-old grandmother looking for a partner. Oh my goodness,
That's definitely a blooper.
that is what
Yeah.
you call a cougar.
That's a state of mind.
Indeed, it is.
She's saying she's conservative and
That's how she identifies that day.
Hey, I'm an
Yes.
18-year-old grandmother.
Mhm. Okay, so I've got since I didn't hear the whole conversation because I was running back and forth. I believe it or not, my daughter is still, even though I had told her to eat her snack and go to bed, I caught her on the computer playing PBS Kids. Right now, I was like, "Are you kidding me? It's 1
Are you
o'clock in the
kidding
morning. Go to bed." I'm like the worst mother in the world right now. Go to bed. And
School's out.
so I had to make sure she was in bed. And then I came back out and a gnat had flown into my wine glass, which, the perils of summer, right? And so
Right.
that's what I've been
Gotta dig
dealing
him
with.
out.
So I didn't hear the whole conversation, but we were talking about people that are like living transgender lifestyle, right?
Yes.
So my son, he's 14, and this is the world he's growing up in.
Right.
He knows kids that are living a transgender lifestyle, right? And
Right.
he actually said to me once, he asked me, he says, "Mom, what do I do if I ever wind up, talking to somebody that I find out is a transgender girl. And I
Right.
said, well, how do you feel about that? And he goes, I just want to, and this is his words, being 14 years old. He says, I don't want to deal with that. I just want a real girl. And I said, well, I understand what you're saying. And he goes, but what would I say? He goes, what would I say if we got to a point where they hadn't told me, and what would I say to her or him, or, and I said, son, I honestly, I'm not sure. I said, I think just in that case, maybe honesty, you have to tell them that you wish them the best, but you I mean, what would even be the right word? Like, I prefer natural women. I mean, what do you say? Like, how do you politely turn a person down? I mean,
I think
so like, these are absolutely things that I know I never had to deal with.
right.
Well, it'd be like meeting a vegetarian. You just have to say, look, I'm sorry, I'm not compatible.
Yeah.
Or I think kindness goes a long way, and I think as long as you teach them to be kind but firm about what they want, because sometimes that walks a really fine line, though. People get offended, but it's not your fault that someone gets offended because you're not interested in their lifestyle.
Right.
It's also not your fault you've been deceived.
And
That's
exactly.
correct. I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah. But
Exactly.
it walks because he said to me, I mean, and he followed up with it. He was like, I'm not gay. And I said, well, I don't, I was like,
And you're like, yes!
Let me catch my breath. But, I was like, I just said, I don't know what to tell you, like how to politely turn down a person that you find out is transgender, a male to female transgender person. And because his exact words, I mean, what do you say? Like, I think you're a nice person, but I can't do this with you. He wants a woman that he can have children with and all the things. And it's not just about sex, it is, but it isn't.
Well, he shouldn't have to apologize for his choice.
No, he shouldn't. You are correct.
Yeah. But the problem is, I think a lot of times maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. That's a difficult issue. I mean, it's truly difficult.
It is very difficult, but I'll tell you this. Nobody should have to apologize for something that they want in their life. And whether that's the transgendered person or the whoever it is, whatever minority group.
As they term it, a cis woman, a natural woman,
Right. I don't think you should have to apologize for any of it.
You shouldn't have to apologize for somebody else putting you in an awkward position.
In an awkward position.
No, if it's a decent person, it doesn't matter if they're transgender. They're going to be honest with you, aren't they?
Exactly.
And they're going to say up front, just so you know, I'm not what I appear, or I'm transgender, or I'm this, or I'm that. Because I mean, what stupidity is there with some? I mean, it's like anything. It'd be like lying about anything, wouldn't it? And trying to get involved with someone based on lies. It never works.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You just be honest. And if he needs to be honest, that's all he needs to be. He's just be honest.
Right.
But what, I guess what struck me about it's just that, that was a piece of advice. He came to me and he my son tells me everything. We're very tight, we're very close. And he trusts my judgment. And he came to me and asked me a question that I honestly, I'm just like, I don't know. This is new for me too. Like, just be kind, be nice, just state your feelings and say, I think you're a good person. I wish you the best. But for me, this my idea of a relationship is not this,
Right.
I don't know how I would have coped with this as a 14-year-old with all this stuff. I mean, it
Well,
was not around.
he's afraid of getting duped. Like,
Oh,
that's
he shouldn't have to be thinking about it, but it's a reality now, isn't it? With the kids, they're
Yeah.
confronted with all of this crap, to be honest. And
Yeah.
it's not necessary. It really isn't.
Right.
yeah, and that's
I
you
just,
know, and everybody that you know, he's afraid of getting in a situation where somebody hasn't been truthful with him, and then they do turn around and call him names and stuff because of that. You know.
yeah,
Well, Marcel, I think that the incidence of people who are truly transgendered in this society is such a minority that the chances of any of us coming across someone who's interested in us that way is very minimal. And maybe you could tell him that because, you know, in high school, and I know this from my daughter's friends and stuff she comes on to tell me. In fact, I'll tell you, this is the funniest. My middle daughter was in high school, and she used to always come in the bathroom and talk to me when I was in the bathtub because she knew I couldn't escape.
good tactic.
So she would close the curtain and she would sit on the floor and talk to me. And one time she came in there and she was sitting on the floor and the curtain was closed and she said, Mom, I got to talk to you about something. Well, I knew it was serious because I was in the bathtub and I couldn't escape. And she said, I think I'm bisexual. And I said, really? And she said, yeah, I'm not sure, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, here's what I think. I think you're a confused teenager. And also, you're either going to be gay or you're going to be straight. The whole in-between thing just means you're a hoe.
There you go, Mom. Don't sugarcoat it.
Right.
Oh, she never did.
I said, if you want to do both, that just means you a hoe.
Oh, it's just such a scary world. Like everybody, you know, and not scary, I guess. It's just so different. Like I actually had to look up the other day. There was a news article that came out, and it was about a couple of famous. There were a couple of actors, and had a whole art, news, 5-minute newsreel about their relationship, and they were polyamorous, and they were this, and then they didn't identify as male or female, and so their pronouns were they and them. And I was like, dude, you only get one pronoun.
Right? You can't have all of them.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so he was like, and they were like, what did they call that? I can't even remember. I actually had to Google it, and it was something like, gender fluid was what it was. And I was like, what the hell is that? And so I actually had to Google it.
That's
and it was like,
morphing.
what? And so the guy was like, well, they, them, and I'm thinking, no, you only get one pronoun, so you really need to make a choice. And
Make a choice.
yeah, it's like whether you're feeling it one day or not, but the they them thing, I think they said Demi Lovato came out and she was saying that too, and I just don't understand it.
Well, and I don't understand it.
And I'm pretty liberal, and so it's like, it's stretching the boundaries of what I can support.
Right.
I think some of it, people are just following the bandwagon and they want to be cool like everybody else. So I want to identify as a helicopter.
Literally, it's like a fad. It's ridiculous.
It's for attention.
It has become an attention-getting thing. And that's one of the, and now I am not going to sit here and say that there aren't cases of people who were born in the wrong body. I believe, just like I believe that gay people are born that way, that it's not a choice for them. They are who they are.
Yeah,
And I-
they're attracted to who they're attracted to. I mean, for me,
Right.
it's simple. Like if you're gay, you're attracted, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know so many people who are the best people, and they're so
Right.
subtle, and they're so
No judgment.
good. And who cares?
Who cares? Right.
It's
Yeah.
just the fact that it's now it's just like the thing to do.
Yeah, but they're hazing the line.
It's
The line
not.
is
Yeah,
Definitely
I know. I
hazing
get
the
it.
line.
And it's
Yeah, but
not
the biggest
something to be
problem of
taken
all is
lightly.
this is the
You
biggest
don't-
problem of all is that this is young children that are having to deal
Yes.
with this. It's not
13-year-olds.
right. It's not
Yeah.
right.
13.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely
even
not.
younger than 13
They're
now.
too
There's
young to know.
It's even younger.
Their babies
Even
to be
about.
born with
I
no
think they
gender.
didn't they pass something, and I haven't had time to really keep up with it, but it's not like I'm researching this daily or anything, but I think they passed something that said that now the treatments are withdrawn for kids under 18, or they can't be initiated. I don't know how that all works, but there was something about it, like they can't initiate hormone treatment or something.
I hope that's correct.
I hope I'm correct too, because
I really do, because
think-
honestly, until a young person is mature enough to make those decisions for themselves, I don't believe it should be something that's available to them while they're not in a position to be able to choose.
they need to be able to go through puberty and have their options.
Exactly. And have their options. Yes, yes. Cypress said she has a lesbian friend on her mom's side. I don't know what ND is. And had a gay on my dad's. Used them. Died at 98 with Harvard. Never bothered me. Yeah. I don't. Look, whatever people want to do in the privacy of their home is perfectly fine with me. But I'll tell you this. I don't go around and advertising to the world that Wesley and I are
Straight normal.
doing married stuff. You know what I mean?
I thought you were going to say that you ate Vegemite.
I was, but I changed it right there at the last minute.
Charlotte, what I want to know is when did everybody's right to keep me informed override my right
To
not
want to
be
stay in the
informed?
closet.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, why
the
do
trend
I
is
have
on- Sorry,
why
Grumpus.
do I have to give up my right not to know just so they can get it off their chest that everybody needs to know?
Well, everybody feels like everybody wants to normalize everything.
Well,
Right.
that'll never happen.
That's
and-
why.
And to me, Grumpus, I believe that society is changing at such a fast pace based on a minority of folks in this country. And I'm talking about the U.S. I'm not talking about anywhere else, because I'm only familiar with our culture right now.
No, I think we may be, maybe Europe, but only the Western countries are having this issue
Are
because
having
everybody
this
else
issue.
gets put to death for these issues. It's like,
Right.
But what's going on with these parents that are they're coddling to a 5-year-old that has decided they want to dress a different way?
well,
Right.
If they came out of the room, says, I'm a cop. I'm a cop today. Are you going to hand them a gun? I mean, where did parenting stop to where you can't? I just don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
no, I had to
Once they
tell.
leave home, they can do whatever they want, but they're going to be a certain way under my roof.
No,
Right.
certain things have been planted in these children's head. I'm sorry, I don't care who says it hasn't, or it's certain things in a lifestyle that they're exposed to. But I got into a massive debate on Facebook a long time ago now with a friend, and he's a good friend that I went to law school with, and a very intelligent guy, and he's going on about drag queen kids and how they should be able to express themselves, and there became this heated debate, and I just said, I'll just say something about the drag queen kids. I said my kid neither one of them are going to come out of their room and say they want to be a drag queen, because that's not what we do here. It's not what they're exposed to. I said they're exposed to this. And so it is something that trickles down from the parents. It's an influence thing for a 5 or 6 year old to come out of their room and say, I want to do this. My
Exactly.
kids have never watched RuPaul. They've never watched all this stuff. They're not shows that interest us. My kids aren't going to behave that way until they get older. They get influenced by other people and everything. But here in the house, when they were 5, 6, 7 years old, it's not going to happen unless they're watching us model that behavior.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Well said.
You know, it's just not going to happen.
Social media.
Dwayne said in small towns in North America, it's different from the cities. There's still stricter parents there in the, I'm assuming in the small towns. You know, Marcel, I'm in 100% agreement with you on that, because I don't even think a 5-year-old understands how to form that thought yet.
No.
Well, in all honesty, like if like say you've got 2 young children, right, and one's a boy and one's a girl, and the little girl is running around and she's got her fluffy unicorn skirts on and she's got her wand and her princess tiara and all this, and then you've got a little boy who's playing with trucks and he's doing the things and all the little boy stuff. You know, one of them might say, hey, I want to go play with the trucks and I want to wear cowboy boots and I want to go do the things because he's doing that. And then the boy might say, hey, that fluffy skirt looks cool. Oh, that princess wand, how cool is that? It makes an awesome sound, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the color. And they might want to trade toys and play with all the things, but they're not going to initiate like a whole dramatic
Right.
shift
Right.
without influence, you know.
When my son, my oldest son, was a little tiny boy, probably older so, he had 2 older sisters. And I used to paint their fingernails. And let me tell you something. Little man would have himself a fit if I didn't paint his fingernail. So I would paint his fingernails and I would pick something that was really close to natural fingernail color, but it made him happy and he thought he was part of the group. Well, let me tell you what, little boy now is 30 years old. He really likes ladies a lot.
Yeah. He chases all kinds of skirts.
And they like him a lot. But, I mean, you know, back then, his daddy would come home from work and see that I had painted his nails. And he's like, what are you doing? My boy don't need to be wearing fingernail polish. And I said, he's just a baby.
Oh, my God.
He doesn't know what's going on. And he would get so angry with me for doing that. And, you know, so I kind of understand a little bit, because I was that mom that painted my boy's nails because he would cry if I didn't.
I have pictures of my younger brother. Like, I dressed him up like a doll. Okay. Yellow dress, white lace, sandals, frilly, like the 1980s little fluffy socks that you would wear with sandals, you know?
Yes.
The whole thing, barrettes in his curly little hair. We have pictures. I have proof. Okay. And my dad saw him in that little yellow lacy dress and he was beside himself, like,
Oh my God. You know, I think Logan was maybe between 14 and 16. And we were having, was it Christmas dinner?
Yes.
Right after Christmas, you know, the whole gift opening thing. And then it was time to start dinner and everything. So the girls who were older teenagers at the time, they started saying, oh, we're going to get dressed up in our prom dresses to come have Christmas dinner. That was a fun thing for them. Well,
Charlotte, I'm going to interrupt you real quick too. I'm up here and Grumpus is up here. Do you have a mod in the chat? Who? Do you have a mod besides us?
Yeah, Wesley.
Okay.
Why, what's
Okay.
going on?
No, I'm just making sure.
Oh, because I don't see anything. So I'm like, okay, who's
No,
where?
I'm sorry. The thought just dawned on me. Like, oh, she needs to.
Yeah. I made him and you, and I believe Patrick. I think I made Patrick a mod.
Yeah, but we hear you go. If you feel comfortable doing it, make Laura a lot. She's more. Oh my God, I've had 2 glasses of wine and I'm like, bleh. But I make Laura a mod. She's a mod on my channel.
Yeah, but
Laura is
Marcel,
Cypress Blue, right?
Yeah.
Marcel, they were really big glasses.
Really big glasses of
I couldn't
wine.
help but notice you had to lift it with 2 hands. You're like,
Woo!
I'm on number 3 and I'm feeling okay.
now, hey, can I just say something here? Marcel
Please.
has sent me a package of goodies.
Yay!
Wait till I've got this video. It's the next one. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much about it.
Oh, so
But
excited!
it is. I'm blown away. Thank you so much.
Did you taste most of the things?
No, I'm not going to say. I'm not letting you know. I'm not telling. I'm not saying anything. But
gonna be a
it was
surprise.
so nice. It was so thoughtful of you, Marcel. Thank you very
Well,
much.
I'll be honest, there was more I wanted to send, and I'm going to send like part 2, but I just,
Yeah.
there was more, but.
Yeah, I'm being polite because it wasn't really all that much.
It's very true, gentlemen. Yeah. It's just a handkerchief. Yeah.
Oh no, it's awesome. So I can't wait to. I'm still my mind's sort of all racing. Thing. What can I do with all this stuff?
Did you try that salt?
I'm not saying.
Ah,
I'm not going to tell you. Not going to tell you.
okay. Waiting to
No,
see.
I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried that yet. No.
I'm trying to
Oh my
put
God.
some things together for you. And a little bird told me some things that you like. But if you
Oh,
can
dear.
think of anything in particular that you are craving from the States, just let me know.
Yep. Ferrari.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
Italy.
Are you serious?
Oh, they're Italian, aren't
Are
they?
you
What's,
serious right now? That's not
Who's
even from
American?
the States,
Listen,
dude.
I
Those are
sent you a
Italian.
Porsche. I sent you a Porsche. Where does this extortion stop?
Right?
look. It's not my fault that you've got so much money, Marcel. That you don't know.
I know.
You don't know what to do with it. It's
I'm
unbelievable.
backstroking in money.
Grumpus, I'll tell you what. If you're nice to Marcel, she'll send you a Porsche.
And
How about that?
I'm going to wait and see what everybody else gets so I can up the ante.
Well, you'll probably get 2 Porsches.
yeah.
Well, just send plants to me. I like plants.
Yes,
sort of
I am
plants?
going to need your address. I am going to need your address. Because guess
Fruit
what?
trees.
Guess what? Next phase is I'm sewing, people. I'm sewing.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's coming. Y'all are going to get some handmade freaking gifts, people.
Look, I wish I enjoy. I know how to sew,
Rumpus,
but
you
I
too.
hate it. Hate it, though. The worst thing ever. Well, and here's the thing with my sewing. If I make a mistake, I get so irritated that I just cut it up in little pieces and waste all the fabric.
Are you going? Could you sew me a dress, Marcel?
I could. Well, more
I'll
than
wear it on the. I'll wear it.
So far, I'm just good on pillowcases and little blankets. Okay, so I'll move up to actual clothing sometime soon.
And see,
Oh,
I crochet.
I would love to crochet.
I've been
I just don't
crocheting
have
since
time
I
to
was
learn
about
anything
8 years
else.
old. And I have a really bad yarn habit.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard people talk.
I
She has
have
an
a bad
entire
spring-
wall of yarn.
Yeah, I have a whole wall of yarn.
Yeah,
Well,
my
it's true that
my
it's
spring
true what they
collection-
say about you. It's true what they say about you, Sean.
It is very true, and
Mm.
I'm not ashamed at all. Okay,
Is
maybe
Wesley, are you okay with that, Wesley?
No, she's not ashamed one stinking bit.
yeah.
My side of the room, instead of having my junk on it, has shelving from floor to ceiling yarn.
I think you need counselling for that.
She might.
No, I'm in denial. No.
I thought I had a problem, and I'm just an alcoholic.
See, You have no idea the extent of my yarn problem.
Oh my goodness.
In fact, the wall is just a portion of the yarn. The rest is in the $100 a month storage unit that we have.
Well, you've got to do you've got to do a video on that.
On my yarn?
Well, yes.
Yeah, we want to see this.
You're
It
addicted.
sounds like you'd need to do about 15 videos though. Yeah.
Look, you guys are really encouraging my bad habits, and I don't appreciate it.
One of these days, I'm
Well, we're
gonna
not
make
gonna
it.
stop.
I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a video on my sprinkle problem. I have a sprinkle collection to end
Like
all
cupcake
sprinkle
sprinkles?
collection.
Is that what you
Oh,
mean?
sprinkles. Because I do the decorated cookies. I
Right.
actually have cookies in there that I did today that are so stinking cute. I'm gonna share them on Instagram. They are so stinking cute. Oh my god, so cute. And so cute. And
So they're cute, are they?
they were so cute.
They really are cute.
Totally cute. I have
How cute
I
are
have
they?
super freaking cute. But I have a sprinkle problem. Like I have every sprinkle known to man. I have like 2 baskets full of sprinkles, and I buy more. Like I actually have to talk myself out of it. Like pass the sprinkles, no more sprinkles. Especially when the seasonal stuff comes out, it's like a big problem. So
Oh, I bet it is.
yeah.
Now it's your turn, Grumpus. What's your problem?
I know what his problem is.
Well, I've got a story.
Go, let's hear it.
We're all
Let's hear it.
can't wait.
My little granddaughter was getting ready to have a 5th birthday, and my wife decided she was going to learn to sew and make a sundress.
Right.
So we needed a sewing machine, and I ended up going out and buying her a little bit better sewing machine than what she wanted. But I bought it. And of course, then we had to have a cabinet, and it had to, all the material and crap like that. She made one little sundress for a 5-year-old, and she's never touched that sewing machine since. That damn sundress cost me almost $600.
Holy banana.
That's how it goes. A lot of times, people are so excited about a new hobby,
Yeah.
and it takes so much time and effort to like get into it.
So if you're interested in a sewing machine, we can work something out.
I have a very
Like my life
basic
is
sewing
used
machine,
once.
very basic.
Okay, Cypress, Laura, just pretend like your wrench is a chainsaw, okay? She asked if she could have a chainsaw instead of a wrench. So I wish I could give her one, but all I have is a wrench to give out. So,
Almost.
just pretend.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the trolls. I just want to see some action.
I know, right, Laura?
All right, well, I'm
Anybody comes
so,
in here talking any
bloodbath.
kind of smack, especially if it's racist or just very unkind,
yeah,
Bill,
don't hesitate. Block
don't
them.
hesitate to axe them.
Yeah,
Or
and if they
chainsaw
say
them.
No, Laura's good. No, Laura's good. She'll be like, he's out. Like,
Yeah,
they say
I
anything
don't-
but
I made her a mod on my chat, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, now he's out." But
Yeah.
hold on, I'm gonna get a refill. I had one last glass of wine, and I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and I had this enormous fly like dive into my last glass of wine, and he was literally doing the butterfly.
Just
Nice.
one more. We understand.
Did you
yeah, just
pick
one
them
more.
out?
I did, but I don't
That's-
want it because it's gross. I don't want it. I just
Oh
don't.
no, I
it.
drink it anyway.
That's Marcel's
Yeah.
favourite saying. Just one more.
Does
Just
that
one
make me
more.
have a bad habit if I would drink anyway?
I actually have to deliver these cookies I made to a baby shower. It's okay. Okay. My husband's not my first husband. My ex-husband, his daughter, who is the step sister to my son, right? Step big sister is the one who's having the baby. So my 14-year-old is about to be an uncle, and my daughter is about to be a bonus aunt to her baby in September. And I felt very flattered because she called me, and when I was the time period I was her stepmother, we were very close. And it's been a little bit awkward since the big change and everything. And but she reached out to me and she asked me to make cookies for her baby shower. And so I was very honored.
Do I have that right? Do I have that right?
Can't see it, Grumpus.
I was
What
trying
is
to
that?
follow along.
Oh, that's not just, sorry. But, yeah, but anyhow, no. I was.
And what do
like,
those cookies look like?
cookies are. She's having a brunch themed a brunch themed baby shower, which is sounds odd, but she loves breakfast foods and stuff. And so the cookies are over easy eggs, bacon, pancakes with pats of butter, and orange slices. They were so simple to make. They're so sweet, and they're fucking adorable. And
I can't wait to see them.
I can't wait to post them on Instagram tomorrow. But I was over the moon, very, very truthfully, very honored that she reached out to me. She asked me to make cookies for her because I love her dearly, like my own child. And it got really weird after her dad and I divorced. But she's a good girl, and
You know
I'm
what?
happy-
Though, it's very
I'm happy
nice
to be able to support her in that way.
contribute.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm happy to be
Right.
able to support her.
Can
Right.
I have some? Can you send me some in the next package, Marcel?
I'll send you some cookies. Well,
He
I
wants
just,
the cute
well,
ones.
let's hope till they
Yeah, just
get
just the cute ones. Yeah.
What's your next recipe, Patrick?
I'm not. It's
Hold
a
on,
secret.
I'm gonna
'cause
go
it's
find
to
some.
do
I'm
with-
gonna go. I'll be back.
It's to do with Marcel, so
Oh, is it okay?
it's
So
going
you
to
can't say.
involve some ingredients that she sent.
Awesome.
Now, can I just say to Laura, if anyone says anything in the chat about that's bad or disparaging or derogatory about Vegemite, kick them out,
Yes,
Um,
please.
because I get offended by that.
Look, Patrick, I'm becoming a fan. Honest.
See, now even Wesley, who doesn't like Vegemite, he's been polite,
He might be, but I'm honestly
That's very
becoming a fan. Is there anything else Australian that I should look into?
Foster's
What?
beer.
I don't
Oh,
think they
no.
have Foster's.
No, they think it's garbage down there.
Right.
Look at Patty's face. He's like, what? What?
You can't really even get it here anymore. I've not seen it around for a long time.
Really?
It was a long time ago when I was there, and one of the guys on my boat walked up to the bartender. He's like, "I want some Foster's." And the bartender looked at him. One, we don't talk like that down here. And two, that stuff is shit. We'll give you a good
Yeah.
beer, not that garbage.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, the thing was, I think when it was just in Australia, it was good, but I think they sold it and it was made overseas and it changed and they changed the recipe.
Oh, I see.
That's right. That's crap. Don't buy it.
Well, if you can think of anything.
Cider, they have good cider down there.
We do.
Hard cider.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was in Brisbane for a week, and I probably drank more than my share of hard cider.
Mm.
Well, you drink
Oh,
that
yeah,
at
we-
home.
Well, not the same stuff they have down there.
No, it's good. Yeah, we do have a lot of different stuff like that. But what are you asking? What are you stuff that I would like from America? You mean?
Yeah.
For I'll send you a list.
Okay. Send me a list and I'll pick up
It's
some
going to be a
things.
long list. And I'll start with the cheapest stuff, and I'll let wine, gradually it'll
Okay.
be more expensive as we
Okay,
go
that
down
sounds
the
good.
list.
Just
Yep.
send it to me on Instagram.
Oh, yes. Oh,
I know you like the cheddar popcorn. I know that.
yeah, send me a truckload of that. That'd be good.
Okay.
And
I keep trying to think of some. Have you ever?
Spam.
Do you like grits?
never had grits.
What?
Ah,
You lived here and didn't eat grits?
No.
he was in New Jersey.
Oh, Yankee.
Yeah, it
Land.
was in New Jersey. Yeah.
You need grits.
We'll send you some grits.
Well, send me some grits.
I'm gonna send you grits.
Good.
It's freaking delicious, right, Grumpus?
I hate grits.
Oh, come on!
Remember,
Are
he's
you,
from up north too.
are you even Southern anymore?
No, he was from up north and came south.
My Meemaw was from Indiana and came south, and she ate grit.
Well, my mom was born a Yankee, and she likes grits.
Mm-hmm. Grits are yummy.
Nah, the grits don't do it for me.
Well, yeah. I'm sure they're quite nice. It's like, yeah, what is it? It's like a type of cornmeal, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yes,
But
that's what Dwayne says. Yeah.
You ever had cream of wheat for breakfast? No? Well, it's
Oh,
kind of
I
like
don't-
that, only it tastes better.
Oh,
Typically
okay.
down south, we eat it with butter and salt. Sometimes
Yeah.
people throw in cheese. Or
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like a
get-
side dish.
Yes.
Or you can get shrimp and grits, which is real good. But in Hawaii, if you get grits in the morning, they give you a side of brown sugar and butter.
Don't you tell anybody that. That's
That's-
blasphemy.
It's Hawaiian. That's how they do it
That's
there.
blasphemy.
Because I spent 3.5 years out there. So
Put sugar on grit. Let me tell you.
spam. They put spam in it too. over there.
They like their spam in Hawaii.
Right?
Do you
They
know
like the spam over there.
when Violet was a baby, and we were at a restaurant, and she was very, very hungry, and it was taking forever for the food to get there. And I looked at the lady. I said, "Could you just bring me a bowl of grits?" And so she did. She brought me this bowl of grits, and instead of putting salt and butter on it like I normally would, I poured maple syrup in it. And that girl ate grits like there was no tomorrow, and she was so happy with her grits. And I looked at the waitress and I said, "Don't you ever tell a soul that I ever did this, because this is blasphemy. You do not eat sweet grits. You just don't do it." But yeah, it's better than rice pudding.
Yeah, I'm not into sort of sweet food, really.
No, well,
I mean, I'll eat it sometimes.
I am.
don't like desserts. My favourite type of dessert would be cheesecake. I love cheesecake,
oh yeah, cheesecake's wonderful. Yeah.
but I'd rather have something savoury.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm that way. But boy, I have to admit, I do have a sweet tooth as well. My sweet tooth involves Tootsie Rolls,
Almonds with Snickers with almonds.
Snickers with almonds,
1,000 grams.
100-gram bars.
What was the?
I don't know. Somebody left. Somebody came in. I don't know.
Have you ever had a fluffernutter sandwich?
I saw you make one, but I've never had
Oh
one.
my God, Charlotte, you've got.
Was it good?
I tell you what, forget the Vegemite. No,
Get the
not with peanut-
fluffernutter.
Not with peanut butter. You get the marshmallow stuff. Oh, Grumpus, you got to try it. Have you tried that?
Fluffernutters. We used to have those when we were kids.
Oh, delicious.
No, I had heard of it before, but I've never actually eaten one.
It's peanut butter and marshmallow.
And marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see,
I've
most
done
of the
s'mores.
time, the only time I've ever used a marshmallow cream is to make Rice Krispie treat
Mm-hmm.
for the kids. But I like to stick my finger in the jar and scoop it out and eat it that way.
I caught her
However-
in bed with a bottle of that junk and a spoon one time.
Yes, you probably did.
Mm.
Was I pregnant at the time?
Yes.
Figured much.
And on the other side of her was a bag of Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah. Tootsie Rolls are my thing. I love them. Oh, okay. Hang on. Marcel is back. I'm taking her out of purgatory.
Yay!
There she is.
Yeah, my internet went down for a second.
Well,
Bummer.
it happens to the best
It
of
does,
us.
especially
what?
where I live. It's horrible.
I just found out in the old neighborhood I used to live in, like 18 months ago, they're getting fiber internet, and I'm so jealous I could scream because it's only 2 blocks over, and
Wow.
we're not getting it here, not yet anyway. And I am super, super jealous.
They'll eventually will get it so they can charge us for it.
I'll pay for it. I'll pay for some fiber quick. But Dwayne said his friend originally from the UK gave me Vegemite to try once. It's an acquired taste.
Yes. I still have never tried it.
Well, I will say this, Marcel. It's very, very salty, and it reminds me of Better Than Bouillon,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
the vegetable flavored one.
Uh-huh.
It's very salty, and I really think that it could be an asset in cooking soups and stews
Mhm.
and
Sauces.
certain sauces.
And how do the Aussies eat it? They just eat it like on a sandwich?
I think, well, the way that Patrick told me to taste it was put butter on toast and then just a really thin smear. What word did you use, Patrick? A
Smear.
Schmear.
smear
Yeah.
of Vegemite on the toast. And I was not unhappy with it.
And then you put brie over it.
And I put brie cheese over it after I tasted it the first time, and it was really delicious. I was not unhappy at all.
And that's a typical use for Vegemite, Patrick?
I'll send you a massive jar of it, Marcel.
But what's like a typical use for it?
On toast with butter and cheese.
Really? That's it? There's
Just
nothing else?
like a breakfast spread, you know?
Oh, okay. Like a jam?
Yeah, but it's not sweet at all. It's not sweet at all. But, I've got a video on it where I teach people how to eat Vegemite, so you can watch that.
Okay, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it.
Very,
Obviously,
very,
I have not seen that one.
very, very. It's the only video on my channel that's worth watching.
Check out my sexy goggles.
Oh, look at those!
Patrick
Oh my
sent me
God.
these so that the next time I cut onions, I don't have to cry my face off.
Charlotte, are you familiar with the Disney Junior series? Oh God, what's it called? The three little kids that fight crime after night. What's it called?
Son,
There you go.
son.
Three
The
little kids
Disney
on.
series where these
Spy
three
Kids?
little kids fight
No,
crime after nighttime.
Was it Spy Kids?
PJ
No.
Masks.
it's PJ Masks. That's it.
Oh.
You look like those goggles remind me of one of the villains on Luna that lives on the moon.
I love them.
Yeah,
I
PJ
absolutely.
Masks.
However, I've decided that since I'm blind as a bat and I can't see you guys right now, well, I can now. I'm gonna have to wear the goggles with my glasses.
Look at Patrick. He's demonstrating something.
Oh, what are you doing? Are you doing peanut butter?
And
What
And
else?
I hope you brought enough for the group.
right?
Oh, a
Oh.
muffin butter sandwich.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I had to go on Weight Watchers, Patrick. Thanks for that.
anytime, Marcel. No Vegemite here. No Vegemite. Have you tried the goggles yet with the onions? Have you tried them out?
I have not, but I'm about to because the onion fermentation project is a flop.
Oh, was it?
Okay, y'all, I am so scared of those onions right now that I am afraid to pour them out. They smell so bad.
Do you have a
And-
compost bin?
Do what?
Do you have a compost bin?
I do have a compost bin. I'm afraid to
Okay,
put
cool.
them in it. Honestly. They're
They might add a
horrible.
lot of, well, stir it in because they probably will add a lot of nutrition.
They might. They might. A lot of bacteria, a lot of fungus. However, I'm going to try this trick again. I just have to order some more lids because
at
I
Laura's-
honestly
Laura's
I don't
comment. She
believe-
says, do it on the neighbor's side.
Do it on the Laura, that's a great idea because y'all, did you know my crackhead neighbor moved out? Yes. We finally got rid of him. I don't have to hear his 1980s music, hair bands, blaring through my bedroom window anymore.
That's so funny.
It's amazing. And actually, after the party's over, that yummy sandwich, that looks so good. Why are you using white bread? Oh my.
What else do you use?
You must get whole grain bread. It's so much better with peanut. He's like, no. But yeah, he moved out and he's now living in his van in the neighbor's yard. Classy guy. But I could probably pour those onions over there, Laura, and nobody would even be the wiser. You just might do
So
that.
funny.
Thanks for the great idea. Love it. Poppy, will you please grab me a peanut and jelly sandwich?
Nope.
He will. Use my bread, not yours. Look, this is crazy. We have two separate breads in the house. The one that Poppy and the kids will eat, and the one that's my favorite. Tell them my favorite. What's my favorite? Pepperidge Farms, whole grain,
Thin slice.
thin sliced. I think it's 15 grain. It is amazing. Look, you guys, look.
Oh,
This-
yeah.
It's so yummy. I
I thought
love
it
it.
tasted like cardboard.
It does not. No, that bread you fed me today and that stupid MRE tasted like cardboard.
What kind of bread did they eat, Charlotte?
Honey wheat.
Who eats the honey wheat?
Me and the kids.
Yeah, him and the kids eat the honey wheat. We don't really do white bread much here.
My kids like it, but I don't buy it often. I buy the whole grain white.
Yeah. And we do that sometimes as well. But
When they're out of the good crap.
only when they're out of the good stuff.
Yeah.
I've been buying that because I've been doing the Weight Watcher stuff. I've been buying that Sara Lee reduced calorie bread.
Yeah, how do you like that?
I actually do like it. It's actually very good.
This
It's
is
only at 1 point per slice.
This is 2 slices is a serving, which is unbelievable because in most breads, 1 slice is a serving. And there's 24 grams of carbs for 2 slices. And that's what, 12 grams a piece. Honey, do me a favor and look at your bread and tell me how many grams. I bet it's about 17 grams per slice.
Probably.
Um,
Wait a minute.
I'm trying to cut down on the carbs again because I really want to try to lower my cholesterol again without all the medication that I have to take and just basically eat that way for the rest of my life because and look, when I did the Atkins diet about 5 years ago, I lost 14 pounds, which is about what I needed to lose.
I lost 30.
Poppy lost 30 in about, how many weeks do you think that was? About 8 weeks?
Something like that.
Something
You're
like
mad
that.
at me.
And then we just kind of maintained it for, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months afterwards. And then, of course, I got my sweet tooth back and
Yeah.
just went in the toilet. But I really never felt like I was depriving myself with that particular way of eating. And
Yeah.
I actually liked it a lot. I don't know even why I quit except for Skittles. So,
Lately, I've been craving Twizzlers for some reason.
oh, see, I can't even stand those.
Oh,
Hey,
I
honey.
love them. I don't know
My
why.
Snickers bar still in the freezer.
Oh,
Yeah.
I need the rest of it.
Peanut butter.
Look,
and
y'all, I'm
jelly
taking-
and Snickers.
I'm taking my heart medicine with a glass of wine.
there you go.
Well, the doctor did say wine is good for your heart and your blood.
He did.
Well, Charlotte, have you tried the Snickers ice cream bars?
Yes, and I'm just not a huge fan of those.
I love them.
But
I like
Poppy
those.
really likes
I
them.
love them too. They're good.
Yeah.
Make
Um,
me fat.
I'm not a huge fan of peanuts, and that's why I always get the well, okay, I don't always buy these. Poppy buys these and brings them home to me. Snickers with almonds, and now those are divine. They're wonderful.
There's a 13 carb per.
Oh, that's all.
Mhm.
Poppy just told me that the
Nature's Own.
brand Nature's Own honey wheat is only 13 grams per slice. So not that much more than my bread.
I've eaten worse.
See, Patrick, you did this to me. You made me hungry by eating that sandwich. Oh, well, that's frozen.
It's in the freezer.
Yeah, Snickers with almonds in the freezer. Can't beat it.
With a hammer can.
Did you use grape jelly?
Yeah.
Okay. We have apricot jelly. If you guys have never tried goat cheese and apricot jelly, please do, because it is fan-freaking-tastic. What are you doing, Patrick?
That sounds delicious.
It sounds delicious. He's gonna lick the knife. I'm impressed. So look, y'all. For this party, my daughter is wearing a quote princess dress in a beautiful navy blue color, and she's wearing a dagger attached to her thigh with it.
Oh dear.
Wow.
She insisted that's the only way she'd let me have a party for her. She said, I don't want a party, Mom. I said, please let me do this for you. I wasn't able to do it for your sisters, and I really like to do this for you. She says, well, can I wear a princess dress? I said, I don't care what you wear. And she looked at her daddy and she said, buy me a dagger and a holster. I'll wear it underneath my dress. And I'm like, who's going to see it? She goes, it doesn't matter. I'll know it's there. Okay, you go, girl. So we're having a
There you
Wow.
go.
Just don't. Yeah.
Do
Is
what?
it for self-defense? Is it for self-defense or what?
I'm not quite sure. Possibly.
Well, I hope no one's rude to her.
No, I don't think anybody will be rude to her. She's an interesting little girl like that.
Hard to believe she's related to you, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Look here.
That looks like a delicious. What is it? Peanut butter and jelly.
Yes, it's peanut butter and grape jam. Grape jam. I don't buy jelly, but it is delicious. Just so you know. Hey, honey, you forgot my tea. You didn't? Hey, you need to come back in here. We're floundering. Come on.
You're floundering.
How's that?
No, I don't like to buy jelly because when you spread it on the bread, it doesn't spread out. It just clumps around. But if you buy jam, it will spread evenly across the bread. It's just a little thing that, you know,
She's weird.
my OCD won't let me have jelly. I have to have jam.
Well, here we don't call it jelly. We call everything jam. We don't have jelly here. Jelly is the dessert stuff. It's like I don't know.
Like Jell-O?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how the jelly that you buy in the jars here, that's kind of how it looks. It looks a little bit like Jell-O.
Yeah.
And, Laura said sheep cheese is good too. I've never had sheep cheese. I don't think. I will say this though. What was the kind of cheese the Kerrygold. Durliner? Dubliner? Dubliner. If you have not tried the Kerrygold Dubliner cheese, it is delicious. And it's aged and you can tell it.
Yeah.
It is wonderful, wonderful
Imported from
cheese.
Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
Apparently the Kerrygold butter is really nice.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's actually
never-
really good stuff.
I've heard that as well.
It's pretty good.
It might be Jules snoring. It might be. Is Jules still? Yeah, Jules is still here.
You hear stories?
Yeah. I'm kind of yeah. After what she just messaged me a little bit ago, I'm kind of afraid to ask what. Woo! But that's okay. But that was it.
I saw that private comment.
I've had Guinness and chili, but never cheese.
Guinness cheese. I've never had that as well.
Mm.
That Dubliner, oh my gosh, it is so rich and so, God, it's just good. So if you find it, grab you some.
Mm.
And they have two different blocks. One's a yellow, and the other one I think is green. Sticker on it.
Oh. Yeah, 'cause it's a light colored cheese, almost the color of butter.
Yeah.
But it's delicious. About once every week or two, we do a really easy dinner with a charcuterie board.
Mm.
And so we just get different cuts of deli meats and cheeses and olives and pickles and jams and breads and we just throw it on a big board and eat off of it. And to me, it's just, it is delicious.
Oh, I love eating like that. Just a big platter of stuff.
I do too. And
Yeah,
actually, I could very easily be vegetarian all but 2 days a week.
I'm about with you on that.
Truly. I could eat cheeses and jams and vegetables and, pickles and things like that all week long and then just have a great steak at the end of the week or beginning, just 1 day a week and then have some fish or shrimp or crabs. I love crabs. Crabs my favorite.
Mm.
You said ooh. Are you saying or ooh?
Oh, I'm saying delicious. I love it all.
Crabs are probably my favorite food in the entire world, but here lately they've become extremely prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Laura, it is nice in the heat. It's nice in the heat not to have to cook and just have a spread on a board and enjoy it.
Yeah,
and
we'll
there's
do that on movie night.
after. So there's really not a lot of cleanup, and it's nice. Oh, lobster or shrimp is her favorite.
I love shrimp.
Mm. Yeah, here we call them prawns.
Prawns, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're sort of called either, but normally people say prawns.
Yeah.
Prawns. Could eat them all day.
Here, I can go a half a mile down the street and go to the harbor, and when the shrimp boats come in, I can buy them right off of the boat, which is really cool. That's nice.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And you can get fish that way. That's one of the reasons I like living here.
Well, that's the sort of stuff you can send me.
Now, how the hell am I going to send that all the way to Australia?
Well, I don't think that's any of my concern. It's
No, well, the only thing I know is dry
maybe I
ice.
should be concerned.
How long does dry ice last, you guys?
How much you get? How big of a box you got?
Yeah.
Too many variables.
Well, I know that you can buy dry ice at Walmart.
Well, there you go. You've worked it out. So next time the boat comes in,
Just grab some shrimp and send it on
Yeah.
over, huh?
Well, don't stop there. I mean, what else? What else do they have?
It's
But then
Maybe they have.
Patrick's gonna take it and he's gonna put some shrimp on the Barbie.
Yeah.
not really
Even though I don't have a Barbie.
Patrick, have you ever had crawfish?
Who is the guy that always put the shrimp on the Barbie?
Raw fish.
Have you ever crawfish?
No, but that's like lobster, isn't it?
Dirty miniature ones.
It's like crayfish, lobster. It's the same.
Crayfish, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you a story.
okay.
My parents had they were married and they had their honeymoon in Tasmania.
Wow.
And for their 40th wedding anniversary, I took them down to Tasmania and we stayed there. And we stayed in this amazing place overlooking the ocean. And the people that hosted us, the husband was a fisherman. And, you know, we're checking in and everything and settling in. And they come up to us and say, look, we've had an amazing fishing season here with crayfish, with lobsters. And we've got about 150 of them that we need to either use or throw out. Would you like some? And I said, yeah.
Of course.
And then they said, look, why don't you all go and settle in and we'll come over and cook them for you. So they got this massive barbecue out the back and they literally chopped these lobsters in half, grilled them, garlic butter. It was unlimited. It was unbelievable. And it was just, here, have them, eat them.
Wow.
Are you
That was-
talking
I'll
about
never-
big lobsters like this?
Yeah,
Nice score.
huge. Yeah. It was
Well,
unbelievable.
Crawfish
Yeah, I'll
here
Never forget that.
are about this long. And the only real thing good to eat about them is the tail.
You did a video on that.
I did. I have a video. Granny learns to eat crawfish.
Oh, okay. So they're small. They're tiny.
Oh
They're
yeah.
small. Hmm.
A monster crawfish is only as long as your hand.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, we don't have those here.
And the people here in Mississippi and Louisiana, maybe Texas,
Alabama.
Alabama, they really like crawfish.
I'm sure I would too.
But you probably would. Personally, I think they taste like dirt. I'm not a fan.
And that's only because not all the restaurants around here purge them. But what you're supposed
Correct.
to do is
You got to
throw 'em
purge
in.
them.
Yeah, he knows. You purge them and then you cook them.
Mm.
And what that means is you don't feed them for a while and you let them
Swim around in the water.
evacuate all of their
Guts.
guts.
Well, you can put them in a little bit of salt in the water, and it
Mhm.
it eliminates things from both ends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And once you've done that, then the theory is that they take. Now, the only way I really enjoy eating crawfish is in etouffee. I
Oh, yeah.
love crawfish etouffee.
Yeah, oh, it's delicious.
Yes. But as far as eating a crawfish and snapping it open and sucking the head and all that bullshit,
Nah, I don't suck my head.
did I say that?
Indeed.
Listen, I'm unsubscribing. I'm sorry. This is not acceptable. I can't be
Not
associated with
blame
this.
you at all, Patrick.
Sorry, she's
Anyone that's
married to a
watching,
dirty old
it's
sailor.
nothing to do with me. I'm sorry.
I don't blame you.
Now we have something.
Humbled by
Similar.
my mistake. Please forgive me.
It sounds like we have something similar here, but we call them yabbies, and they're like that, but they're sort of like shrimp, but they're not ocean. They're sort of inland creatures that live
That's
in
the
ponds.
way crawfish are.
Yeah, crawfish
Well,
is freshwater.
Well,
Yeah,
there
they're
you go. It's
freshwater,
probably,
and they live like in the rivers and in the mud.
Bayou.
Yeah.
we call them yabbies. We call them yabbies.
Okay, yabby.
Don't know
Might
why.
have to look that up.
Huh. I'd say they'd be very similar.
Okay, with a Y. Common, that's exactly what they are.
There you go. How
They're
about
the
that?
Australian freshwater crayfish.
Right.
In Victoria, Western New South Wales,
Queensland.
Southwestern Queensland, and Eastern South Australia.
Queensland, which is Brisbane's in Queensland. So
Mhm. Okay.
Yep. There's a,
And
there's
Google
a
asks, are crayfish and yabbies the same? Okay.
they sure look like it.
They sure do.
yeah, they probably are. They would have to be.
I think they are.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, that is exactly what crawfish are. Yabbies. Yabby.
Yabbies. There you go.
But here, they cook them with jalapeno peppers and the spiciest stuff you can get your hands on, like cayenne.
Mm-hmm.
And what they
Yep.
do is have a crawfish boil, and they
I've
use
seen that, yep.
potatoes and corn and
Eggs.
sausage and eggs. They boil the eggs
Mushrooms.
in it, mushrooms, you name it. Throw it all in a pot together, and it all cooks with all that spicy yumminess.
Oh, yeah. I would love to try that.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
If you
Send
have
me
a
some of
turkey
that.
fryer, you
Send
have
me
a
some
turkey.
of that.
I would love to. You should come visit, and we'll have a crawfish boil in the backyard.
No, just look, I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, so you need to send it to me first.
Just so you can try it and make sure.
Yeah, if I like it, I'll come over for more.
Since he can get the crawfish down there, we should send him a pack of the boil that we use.
Oh,
out
that's
here.
a great idea. Can you get
Yeah.
yabbies? Can you get yabbies where you live?
I'm not sure. Not sure. I don't think so. I know I haven't seen them around basically any time, really.
I need you to
It's sort of
check
something
into
that-
that.
Okay, I'll do my homework.
Oh, because if
Do
you
your
can
homework.
find him, we'll send you the boil that we use here.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And instructions,
Yeah.
and you can do like a crawfish boil on your channel. That would
Okay.
go over really big.
I'll do
Okay,
it.
guys. Well, I have to tap out. Sadly, I'm gonna go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so
No.
much,
Hey, I
Marcel.
gotta go. I love you guys.
And if anybody
Thank you,
who's
Marcel.
watching is not subscribed to Marcel, A Little Fish in the Kitchen,
She's
go
got an
subscribe
awesome
to her
channel.
channel.
She got a great
Thank you
channel.
very much.
Really
Yeah.
great. You have
Thank
how
you
many
so much.
channels, Marcel?
How many channels? Oh, just the one.
Just the one?
And-
Okay.
And then I'm actually thinking of starting. I kind of have started a second channel, but it's just going to be for like streaming and like fun chats like this.
Kind of
Right.
a drinking channel,
A
right?
drinking channel.
Hey, that's
The
what you should
drunken-
call it. Marcel's Drinking Channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna
No,
call it.
just the-
I'm gonna call it something. I'm gonna call it something like cute and sprinkly, like Fishy's Hideaway.
Oh, I like it.
Fishy's
like it.
secret. Fishy's Secret Cove.
Just the drunken fish will be fine.
So what we can do is we can drink
Drunken
wine and check into all kinds of true crime cases.
The Buzzed Mermaid. Okay.
Yeah, that'll have to. I'll
Alright.
tell you what, you'll need someone there with a wrench, that's for sure, and a chainsaw.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, you are not even
Oh
kidding.
yeah.
No, yeah,
little
no.
fish in a bottle.
We're gonna call it something. We're gonna keep it pretty vanilla. So
Laura said you should have a vlog as your second channel.
a vlog channel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
I
I
think
might
that'd
do
be fun.
that. Yeah, I can be funny when I want to be.
You know what's crazy is I think because Granny might be turning into one.
Well,
It's just evolving with all of these grandkids and all of the stuff that goes on around here. And I'm like, yeah, the garden's great and everything. And I love my garden, but especially this time of year when it's 112 degrees outside and we've had nothing but rain for 3 months. What do you talk about in the garden? There's nothing to talk about. Okay, I have sweet potatoes growing. That's it.
And we can make Granny eat weird stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
I might be the weird eating channel.
I know.
Yes.
Well, I'm sad.
that's
I don't.
already-
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to go, but my well, that too. But actually, it's not. I could go get into some things in there. I just made a running joke because that stupid, disgusting. It wasn't a gnat that got into my glass. It was a big fly that was like literally backstroking in my
You didn't
glass.
drink
And I was
much.
like, no.
Oh, that's like the worm at the bottom of the tequila bottle. You just-
Yeah, exactly.
Never did that
Down
either.
it.
Took that sucker right over there.
You and me both. Marcel. Well, thank you again for coming to my stream. I really appreciate it, Marcel.
Hey, love
It's
y'all.
great seeing you again,
Love you too,
Marcel.
honey.
See you later.
Bye
Look
bye.
See ya.
Good night.
look for my super
Bye.
freaking cute cookies on
Oh, we're
Instagram
gonna
tomorrow.
look. Trust me.
Love y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye. Bless her heart. No, I'm telling you, I think I don't know what this channel's evolving into. I really don't.
You'll find out.
I guess I will.
Just do your thing and just if you're having fun about it, people have fun watching
Oh,
you
I'm
have
having a
fun.
great time. In fact, I really enjoy this whole live streaming thing.
The thing that
But-
put me off starting a channel for so long was because I couldn't decide what it should be, and then I realised
Right.
it doesn't really matter because in 12 months from when you start, it's definitely not going to be the same. It'll be different
Just evolves, doesn't
That's
it?
true.
because you don't know unless you've got some. I have no specific idea. You just start it and see what happens. It's fun, you know.
Right. It is fun.
I thought
just
by
have-
now I'd learned how to cook, but I haven't. So
Oh, you're doing a fine job, Patrick. Don't fool
maybe I
yourself.
should start a plumbing channel or something. I don't know.
Maybe you could learn to be a plumber.
Yeah, it wouldn't be far off what I do now.
I'm not sure I would
Similar.
want to plumb. However, I do enjoy tile work.
There you go.
I used to make mosaic tiles or, like pictures, mirrors and things like that. And I really enjoyed it. Haven't done it in a very long time though. I have one project that I made for my daughter. It was a great big mirror with all of these mosaic tiles that faded from green into blue. And she loves it. And one of the tiles fell out. She wants me to fix it for her. Like, all you gotta do, honey, is glue it in there. It'll stay.
You gotta use the right glue.
You do. You do. But I enjoy doing stuff like that.
Well, I think there's a lot of room for. There's a lot of channels out there that are sort of like, I suppose you would call them variety. I mean, they do bits of everything. It might be a cooking video one day. It might be gardening. It might be this. It might be that.
Right. And they say that those don't thrive, but look. Let me
But
tell you.
you know what's gonna thrive is you.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
You're the key to it. If your personality, if people want to watch, it should be that they don't even care what you're doing. It's they want to watch you doing
They
it.
want exactly.
You know?
I watch. Okay, y'all. I'm about to admit one of my guilty pleasures.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Are the kids in bed?
I'm so embarrassed.
Have we got the wrench out? Is the wrench ready?
Have y'all ever heard of a lol cow?
A what?
LOLCOW. Lol cow.
Is that an animal?
Nope. I watch these morbidly obese reaction channels, and they react. There are a few channels on YouTube of women who are extremely morbidly obese, and they've been doing weight loss channels. One in particular started at 250 pounds, and now she's upwards of 600 pounds, and it's a weight loss channel. And so I watch these reaction people basically saying, what the hell are you doing? You know, your health is in the toilet, but you just keep eating. And for some reason, it's funny to me that the reactions, not the fact that these people are killing themselves by eating. That's not funny to me at all. But the reaction channels are hilarious, and they keep me extremely entertained.
Yeah, there was this show, I don't know if it's still going, called Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
Right?
Over there, and that was what they would just put all these old corny movies, and then they would have a panel of people just lampooning, making
Right.
fun of it all, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
That's that sort of a thing, yeah.
Yeah. Laura, you are exactly right. I love Amy and Tammy Slayton. Love to them. Amy and Tammy Slayton they were originally YouTubers, and they weighed about 1,000 pounds between the two of them. One of the sisters got weight loss surgery and has since lost a lot of weight, had a baby, and is perfectly happy. She's a little overweight still, but she's working towards a healthier lifestyle, and she's got her baby. That was her dream to do, and she could never do it while she was overweight. And then her sister, unfortunately, was not able to get the surgery because she can't get under 700 pounds or so. And it's really sad. She's on oxygen now. I believe they're about to start a new season. Anyhow, what I was going to say was TLC picked them up as a what do you call those? Real life reality TV show. And they follow them throughout this whole journey thing. And they're about to do their 3rd season. And it is rumored that the sister Tammy has since lost some weight from going into a assisted type living facility where they monitor what she eats and everything, and feed her a certain diet. And the thing behind all of it for me is I'm rooting for these women to get their lives together and to lose the weight and to be able to enjoy their life as a mostly normal life and have all the things that people want. I'm rooting for these people to just come on, get it together. And they'll get it together for a week, and then they backslide back into the binging and all of that. And it's just fascinating to me that food can be an addiction for people. I get how drugs can be an addiction. I get how cigarettes can be an addiction. I get
anything can be an addiction.
But I've just never been able to wrap my head around food being an addiction and being a problem for people. But I know it is. I know, up here, I know it is.
Look at you and Vegemite, for example.
Right. Exactly.
I'm telling
and that
you,
could be a problem before too much longer, Patrick. I'm serious.
You've already eaten more Vegemite than most Australians eat in a year.
Look, let me show you something.
You've got a big problem, Charlotte.
I think you're wrong about that.
I'm a bit worried about you.
Look, it's almost 1/4.
Look how much is gone. Oh my God.
Look, I know. I can't stop myself.
That should last you 10 years.
And it's all your fault.
You're pointing in the wrong direction, Charlotte. It's over here. I'm over here.
No, it's your fault because you're the one that introduced me to this.
Charlotte.
I had no choice to say, yes, I'll do this.
You're in denial, Charlotte.
You might be right.
Yeah. But look, it's not. It could be worse. You could be addicted to I don't know. It's probably lots of things.
Oh my goodness, Laura, you quit smokes cold turkey, and now she's back after 15 or 16 years. You smoke cigars.
Cigars taste way better.
Cigars are pretty yummy.
Yeah, I do like a cigar.
I have the most amazing picture, and I will find it and post it on Instagram, you guys. It is a wedding picture from my oldest daughter's wedding. We were all in Vegas, and the day before the wedding, Poppy and I went to this very upscale cigar shop, and we bought 2 cigars, and we decided that after the wedding, we're smoking these cigars. Kind of like on Independence Day. Remember the movie Independence Day where he smoked the cigars after everything was done,
After the fat lady sings.
after the fat lady sang. And we're sitting in the bar in the hotel after the wedding, and who bought us drinks? Was it
I did.
Was it you?
I bought you and me some.
I thought it was somebody bought us a round. I can't remember, but anyhow, we're sitting here drinking our drinks, and me and Poppy just both
Lit
lit up them cigars at the same time, and I put my arm around him like this, and I said, "Looks like the fat lady sang." And I looked at my son-in-law, and I said, "She's all yours now."
Can't give her back.
And I have a picture of that, and so I'll have to post that on Instagram. So, Grumpus, are you on Instagram?
No, ma'am, I am not.
Well,
Me neither.
I wish you were.
Go on Instagram, Grumpus. Go on.
YouTube's all I do. I don't do Instagram or Facebook or
Come on, Grumpus.
TikTok
You know-
or Twitter or none of that
Sure.
stuff.
Join us. Join
I've
the.
got YouTube, but it's only got my military buddies on it. Jimmy
mean
Buffett
Facebook?
Junk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook. I got
I think y'all
Very,
trying to
very
suck
few
me into the
family on
dark
it.
side.
no
Come
work.
on, Grumpus.
Yeah, you need to join the dark side. We have
You can do it.
we have cookies.
I didn't get any cookies.
Well, what all's on
Wow.
Instagram? It mostly pictures.
I just use it to cross promote the channel.
Yeah.
Mini Colts, Colts,
So everything
Colts.
I post, I just repost it on Instagram. I don't know why. I mean, everyone else
Everybody-
That's
does.
kind of
so.
what I do as
Everybody
well.
keeps
Patrick,
trying to
but
entice me, but
I'm not
It's
great.
just one. Look, in reality, it's one more thing you have to do, Grumpus. Every time it's more work.
oh, and then the slacker in me says no.
Oh no. No, you're not the real slacker. That's my cousin, the dude, and me. We're
I
the
know,
slackers.
but I look up to him.
Well, he's
The
someone to
dude?
aspire to. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
What?
He's starting a whole new series on the dude's rules, dude's tips for slackers.
I saw that today.
So you might want to tune in. Yeah,
That's awesome. You
'Cause
know,
he really
I have
knows
a
how to
friend
do it.
who is 100% a fan of that movie. What was the name of the movie where the dude was in it?
Lebowski.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And she is a huge fan and quotes that movie to me all the time. And honestly, I watched the first 15 minutes of it and just couldn't get through the rest. I guess I didn't understand the humor or something. But yeah, she thinks it's really cool.
Yeah. See, that's a Coen Brothers movie, and they've done lots of movies, and that's one of my least favorite movies of theirs.
Really?
But I haven't had the heart to tell my
To
cousin
tell
that.
your cousin?
I think I have. I sort of gently told him one day that I thought it's okay. But I've seen a few of their comedies, and their comedies never really.
Pretty
I
dry.
like because they do some serious like full on movies, and they're the ones I like.
Right.
But
Right.
not the comedies are a bit off the wall for me. There's a
That's
couple
the way
that are
I
good.
felt about the Lebowski movie. It was just so off the wall and
We
Yeah.
dry and I like darker humor.
Well, you'd love some of the other Coen. See, the best Coen brother. I think last week I told you about the movie Fargo.
Yes, yes, and
That's
I've seen I told you I
The
had
TV
seen
show.
the series,
yeah.
but not the movie.
Got to see
yeah.
the movie. It's fantastic, and if you like black comedies, dark sort of humor,
Mm-hmm.
you'd love it.
Love it. I really enjoy dark humor.
Yeah.
Probably because I'm just such a morbid person, but
Oh well, join the club. Yeah.
well, it's funny
I
because
I watch movies about serial killers to cheer me up.
right.
I don't generally like comedies or anything like that. I love
Right.
really full on, hardcore, heavy movies.
Right.
I don't find that see some people say, oh no, it's too depressing. I can't watch that. Oh no, I love all that stuff. It doesn't bother me at all.
When I was 18 months ago, I had a heart attack. Y'all know that.
Mm.
And my biggest fear when I was waiting on the ambulance, or before I got to my phone to call the ambulance, okay, I knew I was having a heart attack. I knew that. I had to walk a quarter mile to my house having a heart attack because I'd left my phone at home.
Jesus.
So I get in the house, I grab my phone. It happened to be in my bedroom. So I just kind of laid down on the bed and just grabbed the phone and rolled over, and I started dialing 911. But all I could think about in that moment was, oh my God, I've got to finish this phone call because I can't let my kids come in and find me dead. And then, thankfully, I was able to convey to the folks that I can't breathe very well. I'm having chest pain. My arm's hurting. I'm sweating like a pig, and I need help. They come. From the time I made the call until the time they got here, the only crazy thing that I could think of at that point in time was, dear God, if I have to die, take me now, because I don't want to wake up with broken ribs. I was petrified that they were going to have to do CPR to bring me back, and then I would have to survive broken ribs and recover from that. How ridiculous is that?
You're ridiculous, huh?
But I didn't want broken ribs. And I know that I went to nursing school, so I know if you don't break ribs when you're doing CPR, you're not doing it right. Period. And I knew that was a thing. So I just kept praying, good Lord, I don't want to wake up with broken ribs. And fortunately for me, I never did lose consciousness until I got to the hospital and they gave me a sedative to knock me out to put the stent in my heart, in my artery. But, and so it was almost like a voluntary unconscious. But, yeah, I think about that sometimes and I think, God, that was the silliest thing to think of, is just go ahead and die instead of have broke ribs. But that's kind of dark humor to me. Now that I look back on it, I'm like, what are you, stupid? But at the time, and in my defense, I was having a heart attack. My artery was clogged and I was not getting enough oxygen to my brain to think clearly. So that could have been part of the issue.
That's going to be your excuse?
That's going to be my
Might have been. We won't judge. We won't judge.
I know that thinking was very difficult because they were asking me questions on the phone, like, what's your name? Where do you live? Blah, blah, blah. And they were trying to keep me talking to them until the ambulance got here. And the longer it only took them 4 or 5 minutes maybe to get here. But the longer it took, the more difficult it was to answer the questions. I remember that vividly. And I was just, I went somewhere else. I was just really somewhere else. But, here I am taking blood thinners with wine and cholesterol medicine with my eggs in the morning. So, which is hilariously an oxymoron,
Well, whatever. I mean, modern medicine is fantastic. It means you can
Really
carry
is.
on living a normal life.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful.
I mean, how would life be without fried eggs?
Right?
It'd suck. It'd suck.
Yeah, it would. And Snickers with almonds. Come on.
Yeah.
You can't live like that. But you know what? That's what those obese ladies think too.
Mm.
So should we take your eggs and take away your Snickers?
No, you can't take my eggs, but you can take the Snickers.
Well, you already ate it.
I'm okay with having a Snickers once every 6 months. I'm okay with that. But I'll tell you what, having a heart attack ain't no joke. No joke.
I
And
bet.
it was when I got in the ambulance, the guy says, well, Ms. Acosta, think you might be having a heart attack. And I looked at him and I said, oh, no, not today. I'm not. And he says, I'm afraid so. And he goes, is there anybody you want me to call? And I said, nope. And he noticed that I was wearing my wedding ring at the time. And he says, well, he grabbed my hand and he says, don't you have a husband? And I said, yeah, I've got a husband. He says, well, we need to call him. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, you call him. So I had to unlock my phone for him and use it's a fingerprint thing. So I put my thumb on it and I said, here, it's Wesley, just look in the contacts. So he did. And he told him that I was having a cardiac event.
But I'm not stupid, so I was flying to the hospital.
Well, and he asked me after he hung the phone up, he goes, why didn't you want me to call your husband? I said, because my husband's a fool and he will kill himself trying to get to the hospital before we get there. Now, mind you, I only live 5 minutes from the hospital. And how long did it take you to get to the hospital?
10.
Yeah, and he works 30 minutes away. And I knew it because as soon as I woke up, there he was. And I'm like, oh, hell, he's done tried to kill himself.
I've been waiting.
I was petrified that he was going to hurt himself trying to get to the hospital. And that's why I wanted them to get me there first and then call him. But that was not the way they wanted to do things.
I threaded the needle. I got there.
I know you did, and I was so afraid. I tell him all the time, you better hope I don't die. Because you and these kids are going to be in some sad shape. Because nobody in this house can do some laundry by themselves.
I can.
He forgets to feed the kids.
But my wife always told me when the children were small, I've never heard of a 5-year-old starving themselves. And I just used that on her. I'm like, hey.
Wesley used to make me so angry because he would tell we'd all be sitting at the dinner table and they would want to get down from the table and they would say, I'm full. Can I be excused? And I'd look at their plate and say, yeah, go ahead and play. And he'd say, oh, no, you get back here and you finish everything on that plate. You eat what was put in front of you, blah, blah, blah. And I look at him and I'm like, if they're full, they're full.
Now tell them what 2 finicky cats you have for children.
Yeah, well, it's my fault.
Yeah.
It's my fault. I have to make 2 or 3 meals every evening because this one won't eat that and that one won't eat the other thing. And
this one their food can't touch.
That's right. Their food can't touch each
goodness.
other. And look, these kids are 12 and 16. You would think they'd get over it by now, but they haven't.
You created monsters.
I did. And it's my fault. I'll admit it.
Yeah, my mom used to make us clean our plate.
I just
Same here.
I can't.
And she only made one meal, and she made it very clear she wasn't running a restaurant. She didn't put nothing in. She didn't put nothing in front of us that was going to hurt us. Just eat it and shut up.
And enjoy it and shut the hell up.
Right?
And we ate it. We ate it and shut the hell up.
You know what's funny about that, Rumpus? What's so funny about that is, hell no, you eat what I make or no. That's what Laura said. Look at this guy. I used to be that way because my 3 oldest kids were with me when I had the least to give them. And they knew that when I made dinner, that's all there was. There was nothing else. And so they ate it whether they liked it or not because they knew.
That's all there was.
Now I did have one son who did not like potatoes. So I would always try to make him some pasta or something that he did like just because sometimes there's just crap you don't want to eat. And he wouldn't even eat a French fry, which is like, woo, that blows my mind because most people who don't like potatoes, they'll eat a French fry,
Yeah.
Or what do you call them? A chip?
Chips. A good movie to watch for this sort of thing is that movie, The Plane Crash, the soccer team, where they
Yeah.
Oh, where
Crash
they
the
had
plane,
to cannibalize each other.
yeah. And there's one
Dahmer's?
character. No,
Isn't
what's
that
it called?
freaking-
Alive. Alive is what it's called.
Yeah.
Alive?
And,
Yes, I
And
remember
there's one character in it that can't bring herself to do it, and she dies.
Right.
And the rest of them, none of them wanted to. But
No, they didn't want to, but they survived.
it was, what did we say before? It's all there is.
Yeah.
Well, and like
Yeah.
this MRE that I sampled today,
It's all there is.
it was terrible. But if that's all there was, I can assure you that I would eat it.
Of course you would.
Now, my mom,
Um,
she wouldn't go out of the way to make stuff us kids didn't like,
Right.
but she didn't make
But you just
individual stuff for all of us. There was 5
No.
Right.
kids,
Right.
It
and
was not a restaurant. She was not running a restaurant.
If the other
Well,
four
and here's a for instance.
if the other four's eating
if I'm-
peas, you can eat peas.
Right. If I make, say, spaghetti, I make spaghetti one evening. I have a son who doesn't like the tomato sauce. He hates it. So instead of tomato sauce, I save out a little bit of the ground beef for him, and I mix it in with the noodles without the sauce. So, and that's what I'm talking about by making different dinners. I'll try to put together something out of what I'm already making that I know that they'll eat.
Oh, so
And if that's not good enough, it's peanut butter with no jelly, and they can go to bed.
and
Well, that's
Vegemite.
like my wife. She was a single mom with 3 small kids,
Hmm.
and they struggled. And like I told you earlier, her youngest son's 40. He was staying here, and he'd kind of try to get a little finicky. And I just look at him and say, how can poor people be finicky?
Right.
How can
I'll
you be
tell you
so
what.
picky?
And now my daughter, the oldest one, the one I made the video on this week, Millie,
Uh-huh.
that's my grandbaby. Her mama always she tells Millie, if Millie sees something that she doesn't like on her plate, she'll say, I don't like that. And Erica says, then you need to take a no thank you bite. So basically she makes her take a bite of it and then tell mom, no thank you. I don't think I want that. Which I think is brilliant.
That is pretty smart.
It is. And sometimes Millie actually likes whatever it is she thinks she didn't like to start with. And then other times, of course, it's no thank you. I don't want that. But I think it's pretty brilliant that she thought of that idea. She said she got it from one of her neighbors, the idea.
Yeah. My mom used the guilt trip of the starving African babies. I mean, I was a teenager before I realized not everybody in Africa was starving.
I know, me too. My parents used to do the same thing. That's why I laughed.
My mom tried that crap on me one time. I'm like, good, send it to him.
Well, back when my parents did that starving Africans thing, that's when they were doing the commercials on television where they showed the poor little Ethiopian babies with the swollen stomachs, and they were
little pot
just
bellied, yeah.
skin and bones, and so I ate it.
Yeah.
I guess I was a jerk. I'm like, I don't want to give it to them.
We got all the guilt trips on the eating.
Hmm.
I don't ever remember complaining about the. I mean, my mum was a good cook, but it never even would enter your mind to sort of complain about it. This
No,
was
we
dinner.
really didn't.
Because I knew I wasn't going to get dinner anywhere else but here.
Right.
So all I'm going to do is storm out in a rage and say, I'm not eating that. That just never came up. I don't remember it ever coming up.
I mean, we didn't even have a choice of just pushing our plate away and getting away from the table. You had to eat.
Had to eat.
Yeah, you couldn't
Yeah.
just go to your room without supper. You had to eat.
Hmm.
So I mean, it made me more adventurous on trying new foods. I mean, I'm an adult now, and I'll pretty much eat just about anything.
Really,
See, I will
Grumpus?
too. Look at the Snickers; it's half gone.
Now then,
I can send you a couple of things, Grumpus.
well, I said pretty
Yeah.
much.
Pretty much. Send him some kangaroo.
Oh, Oh no, Grumpus is probably like kangaroo, but I'm thinking more along the lines of stinky fish and things like that.
No,
like-
I'll eat sardines, but that's about the only stinky fish I'm eating.
Oh,
I
they're
like
not stinky,
sardines.
Grumpus. They're not stinky. I'm talking stinky.
I know what you're talking about.
Grumpus, have you ever had the smoked oysters in the can?
Yes, I have.
I love them.
I love them.
Smoked oysters, pickled herring, kipper
Mhm.
snack, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
All the
Kippers
canned
and
fish I
crackers.
eat. I eat
Have
all
you
that
ever had
stuff.
Have you ever had a thing called roll mops?
I don't know what that
Probably
is.
you might have, but they might be called something different. They're like pickled herrings in vinegar, and they sort of roll them up on a
Oh, I've
skewer
seen
with,
those.
I think a bit of pickle in the middle or something.
I've seen those. I haven't.
They
I haven't
are
tried them.
delicious.
Are they?
Delicious.
You need to
Yeah,
do
just-
one on your video, Patrick, so I can learn how to do it and do it here.
Okay.
Do that. Look at him. Okay.
No, I will. I will actually. That's actually a good idea.
It is. Because
Well,
I would do
right.
that. I like those kinds of things like kippers and sardines and
Oh, yeah, love it.
the oysters in the can. I love take some crackers with the oyster and some cheddar cheese and some hot sauce. It's delicious. What?
Never tried one like that.
Oh, it's delicious.
But I learned to like all that stuff because I would try it because my mom wouldn't let us be picky.
Right. And
Yeah.
and my parents were the same way. Look, let me tell you what.
And you realise that when you grow up, you can then decide for yourself what you want to eat.
Exactly.
True.
Right?
True. When I was a kid, I will never forget. We were at a barbecue restaurant, and I love barbecue, and I loved the onion rings, and I loved everything about it. But I have never been a fan of coleslaw. Never. Now I love cabbage, but it's the dressing or whatever they put in it. It's sweet,
Yeah.
and I just don't care for it. And even to this day, I don't. However, my dad thought it was the day to have a power struggle with me and made me eat coleslaw, and I puked in his damn car. Sure did. He's like, how dare you puke in my car? You did that on purpose. And I'm like, what? Who pukes on purpose? That's disgusting. Then I learn as I get older, people do puke on purpose. Weirdos. Weird.
Yeah.
But only 2 incidences as a child I remember I had to eat something that I absolutely hated. The first was that coleslaw, and the second time it was something called a salmon patty.
Yep. Had
Mm.
those.
Love them.
Oh my God, I can't stand them. And I'll tell you the reason why.
It's like a fish cake, really.
Yeah. it's
Yes,
Yeah. Delicious.
Like
Yeah.
a salmon burger almost.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
but my stepmother would cook them and she wouldn't pull the bones out.
Oh, crunchy.
Not just
Crunchy
that,
bones.
but I could see the bones and I knew I was eating this.
Looked like hair.
Oh my God, it was horrible. And little vertebrae all in my food. And I'm like, I can't do this. Now, when I open a can of salmon now, because I make them here. But when I
Take the
open it,
bones out.
I lay it out and I pull out that bone.
It's easy to do.
And then it's edible. But for whatever reason back then, the thought of that vertebrae running through that fish and me eating it just made me sick. And actually, it still kind of does.
Now being so close to the Gulf there in the boats, do you get into the raw oysters?
I love
Oh,
raw.
yeah.
Oh, she.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. I can eat my weight in raw oysters.
I love them raw, but my favorite way to eat them is steamed. That's my favorite way.
Grilled.
I love them grilled. I love them fried in a po' boy. I love oysters any way you can make them.
Ice cold, right out of the bucket
Oh yeah. Oh
What-
yeah.
with a club cracker.
Darn Skippy and some hot sauce.
I might just skip that cracker. I just the whole thing. We're done.
Darn right. Have you ever had raw oysters, Patrick?
Yeah, but I prefer them cooked, like Kilpatrick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that sort of thing. I mean, I'll eat them raw; they're fine. But if I had my choice, they'd be cooked, grilled.
Yeah, if I have my choice, I eat them steamed.
But I'll happily eat them raw. There's no problem with that.
I like them raw, and I like a good oyster stew
Oh yeah,
or
It's-
That I'm
oyster chowder. Oyster chowder. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I made one year, I made oyster dressing for Thanksgiving.
Oh, my grandma did that all the time.
It was delicious to me. I loved it.
Yep.
But my
Mm.
family, they hated it.
More for us.
Every single one of them. I'm like, shoot, that's, and see, I'm not a stuffing person. I don't like soggy bread, but that oyster stuffing that was it. That was wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
You did? But I know none of the kids would eat it. And my son-in-law said, please don't ever make that again.
Well, I go down to the boats before Thanksgiving every year and buy a half-gallon of oysters just for the dressing and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A half gallon.
yes,
You do.
already shucked. There's a lot of oysters in a half-gallon.
Heck yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Heck
Has anyone ever had shark before? Eaten shark?
Yes, I
Oh,
have.
yes.
Great.
If you go to a restaurant here, Patrick,
Oh, you get swordfish, won't you?
and
You
if
get
you
this
order scallops, 9 times out of 10, you're eating shark.
Especially if they're all small and they're perfect and
scallop.
there's no grit.
Yeah. But yeah,
What do
I
you
like
mean?
shark.
What do you mean you're getting shark if you order scallops?
They stamp it. They stamp it to make it look like scallops. And then they serve it. Yeah.
No, it's not scallops.
No. Scallops here are usually about that big around. They're about that thick. And
Yeah,
when
I
you eat
know,
them, you're going to get at least one grain of sand, and you're going to feel it in your teeth.
Right.
And you're like, yep, that one was real. Anytime you get them, then they're flaky, they're not chewy at all, and they're all the exact same size on your plate. Odds are it's either stingray or shark.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I'm not sure if that's the case here, but maybe it is.
It's
Yeah.
by the way they call it. It's either a bay scallop or a ocean. They call it something
Sea
different.
scallops and bay scallops.
Yes, a
Yeah,
sea scallop
that's
is
it.
more likely the stingray or the shark.
Yeah. No.
Other way around?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Well, you got to look at it, see if it's got that little foot on it.
Right.
Yeah, the roe, the orange bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if they
and
don't
if
have
you
a
don't
foot on
take-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They had a big thing about.
I don't think
Or
that
they-
happens here because people would be very upset if they thought they were, because they're very expensive here. Scallops, extremely expensive.
Oh, they are here too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a small bag of frozen for maybe $20 American. And it's not even an entire pound. It's maybe 10 ounces. It's crazy expensive. But
What I love, another thing I
Laura
love
said-
is
they had a big thing on TV about shark even being mixed in with tuna.
Huh.
I don't think I remember seeing anything
neither.
like that, but geez. Hey, Laura, tell me, what is in your Johnny cakes? I need to know. Do you use cornmeal or flour? Or both?
Johnny cakes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. My grandma used to make something similar to a Johnny cake. She called it a hoe cake. I have a video. That's what she called it.
Well, look it up. You can just Google it. Okay.
Wait,
And,
isn't the Johnny cake kind of just like cornbread?
Yeah, sort of. Only it's fried in a
Oh, okay.
skillet, like a cast iron skillet or something. And that's what hoe cake is too. But it's like fried biscuit dough.
Hoe cake.
And hoe cakes are amazing. You can have them for lunch, for breakfast with maple syrup. They're amazing.
Yeah, well, yeah. With a name like that,
Cornmeal,
I'm not
some
surprised.
flour, let it dry like regular breadcrumbs. Make stuffing with it. Oh,
See,
that's-
my wife likes cornbread stuffing, and I like regular bread stuffing.
I'll eat
Yeah, I'm
both.
with you. I'd be with you there, Grumpus. I'm not a big. I've actually made cornbread. It's okay.
I like cornbread, but I like it hot with butter.
You gotta
Mm.
gotta chop up some jalapenos and mix in there with it.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Mhm. And some corn and some cheese and ooh,
But
yum.
Caramelized
Oh.
onions.
Put it in a hot cast iron skillet and put it out on the grill.
Heck
Oh,
yeah! You
that
talking
sounds
my
like your
language now.
That's your next video, Grumpus.
I've done that many times. I haven't
In
made a
fact-
video on it, but
Wow.
What am I making?
There you go. And then when you make it, you can send me some. You've got my address. You know where I live.
I do have your address.
Yeah.
Navy beans up there.
Yeah.
We did.
Now, do you make yours savory or do you have sugar in yours?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
I very
Talking to
rarely
me?
put sugar in it.
I don't care for sugar in my cornbread either.
No, I don't.
I mean,
No.
I think a teaspoon in a whole pot of corn, it adds a little bit to it, but I don't like cornbread that tastes like cake.
Right?
If I want a cake,
I think-
I'll go buy a cake or make a cake.
Yeah, I think when I made mine, I put a bit of sugar in it, and it was too much. That's sort of what put me off it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not, sweet is not my go really, especially with bread and things. I like.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I like to fry
Yep.
up some onions, corn, and bacon and throw it in my batter.
That'll work too. I've done it bacon, jalapenos, and I put a little smoked paprika on top.
Oh, that
Nice.
sounds delicious.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Can't
Look
wait for
here,
that next
Patrick.
video, Grumpus.
Man, y'all making me hungry.
I know,
Wow.
right? That's what I'm making for dinner tomorrow. I'm making some beans and rice with ham hocks. That's my most favorite meal in the whole world.
Mine too.
And I know it's a cheap meal. It's simple, but I think I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, my stepmother used to ask me on my birthday, what do you want for your birthday dinner? Because she always made everybody get whatever their favorite was. And I would say beans and rice. And I think she still to this day can't get over the fact that that was the thing I wanted for my birthday because, I could have had anything I wanted. And I did. I had beans and rice.
No, what kind of
I
beans?
always save my ham bones and make a big pot of beans in a crock pot.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Put them on before I go to work. When I come home, man, the house smells so good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Put that with some cornbread.
My
maybe a
favorite
little-
part of the beans
Now
and rice.
I do like just a little bit of honey on my cornbread. Just
Oh,
a little,
yeah.
little drizzle on top.
Well, look,
But
there
not-
ain't nothing
not
in the,
mixed
in the
in.
world wrong with dunking your cornbread or your biscuit in some honey.
Nope,
I mean, that's just as natural as a baby crying.
exactly.
My,
For real.
my God, I'm getting hungry.
She said Laura said she used to mix lentils with rice and curry.
Yep,
Put it in
that's
the
a good
cornbread.
one.
I'll have to be honest with you, Laura. I've never eaten a lentil in my entire life
They're good.
that I know.
Yeah, I like them.
They're good in soup. You can make great soups with them.
Uh-huh.
Just like a bean or like it's very small, tiny things, and you need to soak them or cook them slowly.
Right. Like is it kind of like green pea soup or split pea
Yeah.
soup?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
That
Yeah.
kind of small like that?
Yeah,
Yep.
Try it.
Yeah, I might have to try some of that because curry's not spicy, right?
It can be.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be spicy. You can make it as bland or as burn your face off as you want.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what?
making curry is like making gumbo. Everybody's got their own version.
Their own way to do it.
Yeah,
The best way to try curry, if you've never made it, is just get a generic curry mix from the store and just
Uh,
put some of it in a casserole or something and see what you think of it. Because it's really
Right.
just a spice. It's like a spice flavoring, and then you might say, "Oh, I reckon I might put more in,"
or less.
and then you can add, if you like it hot, you put chili in with it and stuff. Just like, did you see the one I did on the Japanese curry, the pie I did?
I did.
That was an example of where you just buy that from the supermarket, and there's 3 different types, and the one I got was the hottest one, and I'm swearing you, there was no heat in it, none.
And it wasn't spicy to you at all?
But it was really nice, but it just wasn't. There wasn't the heat, the chili.
Right. That
But it
was
was
so
delicious.
funny because some of the filling fell out of it, and it cracked me up.
I still ate it.
It was great. Laura said she might have Metis. Dwayne have this. I don't understand.
Read the one before it, honey.
Oh, curry varies from region to region. Oh.
No, before that. One up more.
Let me see. Oh, fiddlesticks. There. Bannock is a bread that the natives and
Metis. Yeah,
Metis,
in Canada.
Metis in Canada eat. It originated in early Scottish fur traders and explorers who came to Canada. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this program called Outlander.
Oh, great show. I love it.
You love Outlander?
Did you get through the first season?
Oh, I've read all the books.
Oh, you haven't seen the show?
I have seen it, but
That if you can get through that first season, then you're pretty brave. That was full
that
on.
was pretty traumatic.
You know what I'm
wasn't it?
talking about?
We've
Yeah, you know what I'm
seen-
talking about.
Yeah, I do know what you're
3 or
talking
4
about.
seasons.
That
I
I
don't-
actually could not watch that episode.
That was horrendous.
Horrific. Yes.
Horrific. Like I've
Uh,
never seen anything before on TV, and I've seen a lot.
Never.
I
Never.
just thought, wow.
Um,
Grumpus, you should see this show if you ever get a chance. It's called Outlander.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, if you get a chance, I don't know what sort of TV
Is it
you
It's
on,
on
watch.
Stars Network here. If you
Is
have
it on Stars?
Mhm.
I think I do.
It's about
And,
it's a bit of time travel involved, but it's not silly. It's done really well.
no,
and
it's
it
not
goes
silly at all. Yeah.
Goes back to the Jacobites in Scotland back, several hundred years ago. It's
And
fascinating stuff.
Culloden and all of that stuff. The when the Scots were trying to take Scotland back from England during Bonnie Prince Charles and all that stuff.
I may have seen previews on that. I don't
It's,
think I've
um,
seen the show.
You got to strap yourself in for there's some
Yes.
there's
The
some
Rocky
pretty.
Ride, huh?
Oh yeah.
Never a dull moment.
Well, I'll have to check it out.
Hey, do you know
And-
what? I just found out from another channel that the Scots invented fried chicken.
Is that right?
Do you know that? Did you know that?
I did
know
not
that.
know that.
I thought Grandma did
Apparent-
that.
Apparently, they figured out a way to that was how when they were in Scotland, and then they all came to America
Uh-huh.
and brought the fried that people would see them frying chicken and go, "What the hell are you doing?" And it caught on. Apparently, it's true. Scots. How about that?
No, I started reading the books probably 6 or 8 years ago. And, every time a new one would come out, I would, of course, buy it and just devour it. And they're wonderful books for... I think the books are geared more towards women, to be honest with you. But the program itself, Wesley absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I started beginning to think that the actual program and the movie or series, whatever you want to call it, was geared to everybody and not just the female romantic genre of books.
Do you know, I before I had finished the first season,
Mhm.
I was that into it. I thought, you know what? And my parents are Scottish, right? So
Mhm.
I said, my mother is going to love this.
Mhm.
And I bought her the first season on DVD and I gave it to her.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw the final episode. I was thinking, oh my! So I rushed
What
around.
have I given
And I
my
said, Mum,
mother?
you haven't watched that yet, have you? And he says, oh yes. And I said, well, what did you think of the final episode? He said, oh, I just fast forward that stuff.
Bless her heart.
Phew, I thought she would disown me.
Laura
You know
asked
what I
if
mean?
you've seen the Vikings. Don't you watch
Oh,
Vikings?
Vikings! That is a brilliant show.
A lot of it.
Is it? I just never got into that one. Probably
That's
because I
very-
didn't have time.
That's very violent.
Is it?
Oh
Is it-
yeah.
But it's
Oh,
not.
that
It's not.
doesn't surprise me.
Sort of excessive just because the Vikings were. They were
Right.
very
Well, the
violent
Irish
people.
were pretty hardcore too. There was one of the Viking kings, no, not Viking, the Irish king, the one true Irish king that united the entire island. He was in reign for I think it was 5 or 6 decades, and they beat the Vikings. The Vikings were leaving for good, except a small group of them. They snuck in. They killed one of the king's bodyguards. They killed the king at his finest hour after beating everybody. They found those 3 Vikings and tied them to trees with their own insides.
Oh, shut the front door.
That's pretty hardcore there.
Ugh.
Yeah, there's a. Are you talking about the actual TV show, the Vikings?
No, I'm talking about this actually happened.
Oh, right. Because that's the TV show called Vikings. There's an episode in that called The Blood Eagle.
Right.
And I'm not even going to. It's the most horrific. You don't see anything happening. You don't see any blood, nothing, but you know what's happening
Right.
because in a previous episode they describe what a blood eagle is. Google it sometime. It was a means of killing. It was like they would torture and kill someone by giving them a blood eagle, and I can't imagine a more sadistic way to kill someone.
Is that when they
And-
pull them apart?
No.
No?
What they do is
No,
they
he's right.
slice you right here and pull your lungs out and lay them on your back.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything, Wesley. You're just like, no, that's what they did.
Oh
And
my.
I
there's
ancested a lot of my ancestors. The Scots, the Irish, the Vikings, yeah.
And that was if you and there's a whole episode. They get a guy and he knows that's what's going to happen to him, and it's the build up to it. It's like, oh,
That's a,
it's and they're focusing on his face as they're doing it to him, and it's just unbearable. You know,
Oh.
oh,
That's like that last scene in that first season of.
oh.
I couldn't do it. I could not
Oh.
watch it. And mind you, Patrick, I had already read the book, so I knew what was going to happen. And just visualizing it as you're reading, and mind you, in the book it went on for days.
It did in the show.
Well, it did, but
Yeah, it was a whole episode of it.
the book was chapters of it.
dude.
And it was
Oh.
even more in depth as far as what happened. And
was
so
a
I
rape-
read that.
Just for Grumpus's sake, it was a rape scene we're talking about.
Yes. Yes.
It was just, and it wasn't necessary. It wasn't graphic. It
No,
was just
the emotion.
But it was
Oh.
guy on guy.
Yeah, it was.
oh.
Yeah,
But brilliant. I mean, the fact that I
the
love
way
it when
they
it's
pulled it off was brilliant.
to be able to get that emotion out of you when you're just viewing something, you know,
Exactly.
brilliantly done. But geez, you know, can you
But it-
imagine how I felt when I thought my mother's just watched this? Oh
Right.
my God!
Right. Right.
She watches Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music.
Bought it for.
Hey, Sarah, Sarah.
I'll never do that
Whatever
again.
will be, will be.
Because the show, this Outlander, it seemed like it was going to be a completely different type of show to what it turned out to be. It turned out to be
Yes.
full on, but it seemed like it was a nice, almost Agatha Christie time period thing. And I thought, my mother's going to love it. You know, they're all nice Scottish people. Like, no.
And it is so. The one thing that shocked me about the books was the violence.
Oh,
it-
yeah.
The violence and also the clans and
Yeah.
how they stuck together through thick and thin, and how they had each other's backs and they showed up for each other. That was impressive to me as well.
And just seeing an insight into back then, those cultures, the violence wasn't what we look at it today as. It was normal.
Right. It was just a way of life for them.
It's the way they did business, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They thought nothing of it. I mean, I read something. I mean, there's a lot of Native American. There's one particular tribe apparently that were of Native Americans who were notorious for just going around, and they were like the Vikings. They'd go into a neighbouring area and just slaughter everyone. Yeah, and they'd rape the women, they'd kill the children, and apparently it was just nothing. It was nothing to them. They were just normal. They'd have a laugh about it.
But nobody better do it to them.
Oh no.
You
well,
know?
that's why they would get in first, wouldn't they?
Right.
But it wasn't. You know, I suppose when you're brought up in that culture, it's normal. You just
right.
The life was cheap, I suppose.
Well, and that's why when the Brits came over here, they called them barbaric, you know, and wanted to civilize them.
Barbaric what? What do you want?
Go away.
No.
They wanted to civilize them because it was just a different way of life. The English had no, well, of course, apparently they were fairly brutal to the Scots as well. But we won't go into that. But it galls me to think that they would come over here to the New World and look at these Native Americans like they were barbarians, knowing full well their history before the New World.
Yeah. It's happened everywhere, hasn't it?
I will never forget when I was in college and I took a Western civilization class, and my instructor was pretty amazing. And he was a great storyteller. So he would go off on these tangents and tell us stories about the Spanish Inquisition and the torture that people went through.
Like Iron Maiden.
When being accused of being heretics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, it really solidified, well.
There's a great movie on that. It's, what's his name? James Bond. Who was the original James Bond?
Oh, that was Sean Connery.
It's called The Name of the Rose, and he plays a monk back in the Middle Ages, and that's when they're at the height of the Spanish Inquisition, and they were just, all you'd have to do is be accused of all you have to do is be accused of being a witch, and it's burnt you alive. Just
right.
You're gone. You're a witch, you know.
Yeah.
And it just was.
He was telling us stories about how they would tie people's arms behind their back and then drop them from the cliff so that their arms went up and over, you know, and pulled their arms out of socket. And they would just dangle them there.
That hurts.
Until they confessed to this heresy, and then they would gut them.
Then they'd be killed anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Drawn and quartered.
But for whatever reason, they thought it was necessary to torture them to get a confession and then kill them.
That's because so they could be pure when they go to heaven.
What the frack? Well, and that too, a lot of that history that I learned, because I was ignorant to it up until that point. I went to high school in a small town in Florida where they did not only did they not go a lot into history. I mean, we got the basics, the very, very basics. And when I started learning all of this stuff, I'm like, my God, Christianity seems to be one of the most violent religions in the entire world. And look how many wars and how many people were killed over Christianity.
Millions.
And then I started having a little bit of problem with it. So.
Yeah, I think what they don't teach anymore, the kids in school, is I don't think history plays a big part. It doesn't here, and they don't teach much history to children.
They don't.
There's a lot of kids now that don't even know who Hitler was and what the Second World War was. They've never even heard of it.
Right. Well, I will never forget.
It's unbelievable.
Patrick. We were watching. What was the name of the movie again? We were just talking about this the other night. When Rachel said, "Why didn't they just bomb them?"
Oh crap!
It was something to do with the Revolutionary War. And my daughter, as a young preteen, The Patriot. Remember the movie The Patriot?
Oh, yeah.
Mel Gibson and what was it? Not
Heath
River
Ledger.
Phoenix.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. God, what a wasted talent. What a wasted life. But anyway, we're watching this, and she's watching this history unfold in front of her, and it was fairly accurate. Fairly. And she said, she's watching it, and we're sitting on the sofa, and she turns around and looks at us and said, "Why didn't they just bomb them?" And I looked at her and I said, "Are you freaking serious? What are they teaching you in school? They didn't bombs during the stinking Revolutionary War?"
Yeah, that's right. They're very ignorant about history. It's
Right.
Captain Ball and crappy cannons.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think reading, writing, and arithmetic is stressed anymore.
Nope. It's do you know what it is now? It's gender studies.
Gender
Well, now
studies,
they have to learn how to be.
Gender studies.
political studies.
Yeah. Now they have to learn how to be
Woke.
woke.
Woke. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a lot of the education now. Now, I will say, my daughter is taking advanced placement classes, and she's earning college credit while she's in high school. So she gets the benefit of a little more education than the average student. And I know that just from helping her with tests and, helping her write papers and stuff like that. Because by the time she graduates, I can assure you that 30% of her diploma will belong to moi.
So you will have graduated from high school?
I will
College a
have
couple of times.
graduated a few times from high school. I say that to my son all the time. I said, if it wasn't for me writing all your English papers, you would have never graduated. And it's true. And I'm a pushover and a sucker, and I admit it.
Now that I know that,
What are you talking about?
that you're a pushover and a sucker.
Just with the kids, honey.
Oh, my
Don't
bad.
you know that by now?
I was hoping you were getting soft.
No, not yet. You're gonna have to wait till I'm got dementia before you can.
Well, that'll-
Well, I think I might call it a day, folks.
All
Or
right,
evening.
Patrick.
I'm about to call it a night.
I am
Yeah,
too,
no
because
kidding.
I did not realize how late it was. This,
Dang.
guys, this time just flies by when I do these live streams, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, let's do a long one next time.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should do a 24-hour thing.
An all-nighter.
It wouldn't be difficult.
Maybe do
Yeah.
it more planned while I'll take a nap first.
Right. That's
Yeah.
a wonderful idea.
We can take turns. Like you go lie down for a few hours. I'll take a second watch.
Be like
Thanks
a
for
slumber.
coming, Laura. I appreciate it. And Jules,
Bye, Laura.
if you're awake,
Bye, Jules.
God love her. I think Jules went to sleep.
Yeah.
Probably
well,
fooling on a keyboard.
That's all right. Grumpus,
Anyway,
We will
Charlotte,
see you all in
Wesley.
the next one. Good seeing you all again.
it's been a
good seeing
pleasure.
you guys too, and thank you for showing up for me. I
Always-
appreciate it so much.
Always enjoy it.
Always good.
Have a
Great.
good day. Have a good
Talk
night.
to you later.
Good
I
day
will see you.
down there.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
great weekend.
All right, Jules, I'm sorry if you're asleep, but I got to end this thing, honey. Have a great day.